2020 final.
It's the game of the game.
Abu Dhabi, the venue for this first semi-final. We're down to the final four, and it is England against New Zealand. And it is a wonderful cricket stadium with a really good pitch. Perfect time to play cricket. And Kane Williamson won the toss. No surprise. We will have a bowl. Two captains, two sides that know each other very, very well. And a lot of history between them. Williamson won the toss. We will have a bowl. They were unchanged. England made one change. It's Williamson against Morgan. It is the same two captains from that famous 50-over final at Lord's. Pakistan against Australia tomorrow. Today it is England against New Zealand with that final on Sunday evening in Dubai. England, 1/4 change. Unfortunately, Jason Roy pulling that calf. He's out. Bairstow moves up to open. Sam Billings comes in that middle order. Otherwise, unchanged. And they will be batting first. And New Zealand, unchanged. Their bowlers have been going really well. The bowling outfit of the tournament backed up well in the field. Bolt, the leading seamer, Saudi, brilliant. Sodhi and Santner providing the spin. Guptill, the key wicket for me at the top of the order in the run chase. They will be chasing later. Erasmus takes the ball with him. Spinning on that podium. Will it spin on this surface? It is dry. It looks a good surface, probably the best pitch of the three venues. Not many in. There's a few, obviously, from New Zealand and a few England fans that have made the journey. Obviously, some expats here in Abu Dhabi. Hour-and-a-half journey from Dubai. I think both sides made. England definitely drove down from where they're staying and get out of the bubble. It's all about who handles pressure the best now. It's a knockout game. And New Zealand finding some momentum towards the end of Super 12 stage. England just lost that one game, didn't they, against South Africa? They topped their group.
Ladies and gentlemen, both teams, Team New Zealand and Team England, are now approaching the field of play for the national anthem.
Perfect conditions for play. It's a bit cooler here, actually, in Abu Dhabi than when we were last here. Interesting if any dew comes down. There'll be some nerves. They'll just be desperate to get on with that first ball. Teams wait patiently. They wait for the anthems, but they're also going to wait for a bit of moment's silence for Mohan Singh, the groundsman here for a long, long time. And sadly, he passed away a few days ago. Real sad news. Our thoughts are with him, his family, with everyone that knew him and the ground staff that worked with him. So the players will have a moment's silence for that man on your screen, Mohan Singh.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So the moment silence observed for Mohan Singh. Now it's time for the national anthems of the two nations.
National anthem's done. Time to get down to business. New Zealand have won the toss here at the Zayed Cricket Stadium, elected to field first. Job to do up front for Johnny Bairstow. Joss Buttler up against Trent Boult, Southey, Santner and the likes. The odds were slightly skewed England's way prior to the toss. They're about 50-50 now, according to most. Two sides brilliantly led by two wonderful captains, most respected as well around the world, Kane Williamson and Owen Morgan. Kane Williamson has led New Zealand out onto the field. New Zealand, England doing battle, and similar combo up here. Michael Atherton, evening to you.
Good evening, Dooley. Great to be here. Wonderful cricket stadium this. It's a gorgeous evening in Abu Dhabi. Beautiful temperatures. And let's hope we can just get an ounce of the drama that these two teams gave us on that memorable day at Lord's 2.5 years ago. Good toss for New Zealand to win. Both captains would have wanted to chase. And England, of course, having to rejig their lineup because of that injury to Jason Roy, who was distraught at the end of that game against South Africa. Knew the moment that his calf went that his tournament was done. But what an opportunity for Sam Billings, who tends to carry drinks more often than he plays these days, but he slips into the middle order. And England lose nothing, in my opinion, by having Johnny Bairstow partner Joss Buttler. Bairstow, by any estimation, is a top-class opener in white ball cricket. So this will be a key contest. These wily, versatile opening bowlers for New Zealand. against England's power-packed opening pair. Both teams will take a knee, as they have throughout this tournament.
Well respected around the ground as well. Time to get down to the business end of this tournament. Tim Southee's been exceptional in the power play in the Super 12. 11 overs in that power play, just the 3 wickets, but 4.63 his economy. New Zealand's economy has been the best in the tournament across their bowling unit, up against what still I think we'll consider the most power-packed batting unit of the tournament, even though Jason Roy is not there. Southee with the first ball. Short, and there's 2 men out for that very shot.
Well, if there will be any swing, you'd imagine that these 2 bowlers, Southee and Bolt, will find it. And it'll be a very important part of this game. Bairstow, who's been short of opportunity, really, because England have been so dominant. Kumar Dharmasena standing at the bowler's end right now. Lack has been undone by the skiddy bounce at Sharjah. This should offer him more pace and bounce. He ought to enjoy it a little more.
I feel that this is his best position. Top of the order, white ball cricket. This is where he belongs. Runs the middle straight away. Met 5 times these 2 sides. T20 World Cups, 3-2 to England in those T20 World Cup matches. This is the injury to Jason Roy. And as you said, build up, Athers, for those that missed it. He knew straight away, and tears. He knew that he was out of the... I don't know why he was trying to walk out onto the park earlier. I just took him 20 minutes to get out there and back.
Yeah, I had a chat. That's the other thing about Bairstow. He is very, very quick between the wickets. Anybody who will have seen Bairstow and Warner bat together in the IPL will know that they will steal runs left, right and centre. Just going back to Jason Roy, I had a chat with him just before the start of play, and he said it was like a screwdriver going into his calf the moment that he pulled it, and he knew he was done.
And the one thing about calf muscles, and those that have done them, the other one will go in the next 3 months.
What an optimist you are.
I'm just being honest. It will go, Jason. Just be careful. Oh, a little bit of movement from Southee. Had Butler reaching for it. So England just prepare in 3 months' time for the other one to go as well, and for Jason Roy not to be there then.
Well, he's desperate to get fit. England's next engagement in T20 cricket is in Barbados. 5 games in Barbados. This is late swing for Southee, and that's why Butler was groping at the ball. Not just swing, but the lateness of the movement.
Wide of the crease, looking to draw him in. That's missing leg.
Terrific opener. Bairstow, great numbers at the top of the order. Great numbers in the IPL, where he probably has got a better record than Jason Roy, for example. So England have a ready-made replacement.
Yeah, those T20 World Cup numbers misleading because of the opportunities had. As an opening batsman, his numbers are seriously good. That's that one away leg side. Might be the first boundary. It is. Quick outfield. Boundary off the last ball of the first. 6 without loss.
Just the one ball, really, in that over from Southee. Swinging, and it swung from off stump and outside. But when he bowled straight here, there wasn't the movement, and that allowed Josh Butler, who's been in fantastic form in this competition, to just tuck it away for the first boundary. Butler playing with great confidence right now.
Africa or Mexican মশলার mind blasting flavor ডিটোস পাবো হবে টোস্ট চুরি থাকে ডিটোস
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট সার্চ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
One player crossed the 3,000 run landmark in the tournament actually to join Kohli and Martin Guptill. A lot of T20 international runs. Williamson looking for 3,000, a couple of sixes away for Bairstow. Trent Boult has also been outstanding, 11 wickets in the tournament at strike rate and economy have been brilliant. He's worked so hard on his death bowling as well and been very successful. Little bit of movement. The trade, you mentioned it, Athens. This in the trade, we say biting off too much almost. You're looking to swing it from leg to off, bowl the miracle ball after you've swung one early on in the over. It just didn't move. Went straight into that leg stump, and Butler too good. He's in too good a form to miss out on that. Too high, looking to swivel on it. And speaking of good form for Josh Butler, this was brilliant from Sharjah.
Well, this was on the back of a scintillating innings against Australia, but against Sri Lanka at Sharjah, he had to work really hard. The pitch was very different, and he showed that he's a bit more about him than just coming out and whacking boundaries from the off. This was an innings of two halves from Butler, very slow at the start by his standards, very quick at the end.
Oh, swing in and then a little bit of nip away. Had Bairstow feeling for that one.
Now he's running into quite a stiff breeze, actually, Trent Boult. You often get a down wind here, and it's Boult who's running into it. And he's trying to curve that one in, and at the end, it just straightened up off the seam.
Possibly a lack of carry through to Devon Conway as well. 137k, so not slow by any stretch. Finds the gap this time. Williamson will get around. Won't stop the two.
We were down at England's practice last night, actually, at the academy, the Dubai ICC Cricket Academy. Beautiful setup down there. But Bairstow arrived about 45 minutes before the rest of the team for a net on his own, which I think was a signal both of the lack of opportunity he's had so far, and also he knew he'd be opening the batting. He probably just wants to get into a slightly different frame of mind.
David Willey?
He did, yeah, in anticipation of Trent Boult. David Willey's not quite as sharp as Trent Boult, but he does swing it back nicely, so that's what Bairstow was anticipating. It's great rivalry, isn't it, building between these two teams. I often think sport is elevated by rivalries, and look at the matches that these two teams have played in recent times, the World Cup final, the World T20 semi-final from 5 years ago. There's great respect as well as that rivalry.
Oh, inside edge, past the stumps, past Conway. So boundaries off the last ball of the first and second, 12 without loss.
কেউ জানুক আর না জানুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতে। তাই ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল ইনস্ট্যান্ট হ্যান্ড স্যানিটাইজার।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
Luxurious silky finishing ও antibacterial property সমৃদ্ধ বার্জার লাক্সারি সিল্ক emulsion শুধুই গ্ল্যামারাস দেয় নয়, আমার স্মৃতি রাঙিনা।
Focus on Conway's keeping Dooley. How's he done? I mean, he's a natural athlete, isn't he?
Done very well. And the catch Get that catch off the toe end of the bat was Shazad. Look, a great catch there. He's taken a brilliant one in the outfield, but he's a hard worker on his keeping. Still what you would consider part-time, but doing the job really well. Again, a little bit of movement for Tim Southey. Just getting a touch of swing on that breeze as well. Let's have a look at the first over. There's that swing away from the right-handers. He's got that three-quarter ball that he bowls. Comes back in. Just got the line slightly wrong. Last ball. Go full, try and swing it early, then just maybe bring your length back a touch.
Just about there is perfect for Tim Southey. The margins are fine. If he's off stump or just outside, it might swing. Once he's middle stump or leg side of that, it won't. So it's a fine margin. But what a performer he has been for New Zealand over the years.
Yeah, incredible now. One of only 3 players in world cricket to have 100 international wickets in all 3 formats. For a guy who's now operating in that late 120s to early 130s consistently, he's become a very, very clever bowler. I think back times gone by, a Chaminda Vas, Zahi.
You need that craft and skill and versatility against these opening batsmen who are looking to take you down in the opening 6 overs.
All right, everyone in the top 6, just get the pads on and we'll figure it out if a wicket falls.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what England do. They've used Moeen Ali as a bit of a floater in the order. And given the way that New Zealand's spinners spin the ball, which is into the left-hander generally, they may just have Moeen Ali at the ready. They've also then potentially got 3 left-handers in a row, Morgan, Ali and Malan. So they may use Livingston to split that up, and Billings, they'll probably use him as a finisher. That's the role that he's generally played in England's one-day sides.
Yeah, and I think from a New Zealand point of view, to counter that, we might see Neesham bowl an early over, just in case they don't allow Santner to settle.
There is that order, and we don't really know that Billings is going to come in 5, even though he's carded to come in at 5. They'll certainly want Livingston in there if wickets are in hand, because he showed what he can do at the end of that game against South Africa when he hit a massive 612 metres, the biggest in the tournament so far.
Just holding in the surface a touch, end of the 3rd over, a tidy one, 13 without loss.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Not often nowadays do you see same bowlers used for 2 overs apiece at the top of the innings. New Zealand just feeling perhaps there's still a little hint of swing. Looking at that opportunity to pick up a nice early wicket. We've got England in a position where they haven't got away on them early as yet. It's the lowest score after 3 overs in the tournament for England. The previous was 21 against the West Indies, so they've had rollicking starts. Again, some swing. Williamson can't get there. That'll be 4. Nicely timed.
Power and placement from Joss Butler. Just slightly closing the face to get it straight of Williamson. Ball is starting to shape ever so fractionally. Just gets a bit of bottom hand in at the last minute to get it past Williamson's right hand.
It's a great shot, that, from Joss Butler. Just purely for the fact that he's making sure those pads are nowhere near the stumps. He's keeping his pads outside leg. Worried about that swing. Gets that through as well. Bolt goes wide. Butler pounces.
Got 3 quiet overs, relatively quiet overs for England. And now as we get towards the back end of this power play is when they'll want to start pushing down on the pedal. Butler again staying leg side of the ball. He's getting whipped here from Trent Bolt. And that one looks as though it's come right out of the middle of the bat.
It's really clever batting because he's taken LBW completely out of the equation to Trent Bolt, which is one of his main modes of dismissal. Saying, I'm not going to get hit in front. Back my eye or back my ability to hit anything that's on the stumps.
Wait.
So far, so good. Boundary right his leg side for Trent Bolt. Deep backward square and a regulation fine leg. Oh, it's a good short ball, but it's taken off over the head of the keeper, Conway, and down to the boundary for 5 wides.
Yeah, up until this ball, we've made mention of the fact that it doesn't look a quick pitch. There's not much carry through to Conway, and that's maybe why Bolt thought he had to really dig it in short. But my, that climbed over Butler's head and over Conway's head. Expensive over.
Used up the 1 for the over as well, and it hasn't counted as far as being on the money. Again, down to Williamson this time. It's a cross, but the timing impeccable again from Butler.
And direct hit just...
Just not bouncing as much, so a little bit of inconsistency at the moment. For those of you playing the fantasy league, Josh Butler, the most selected player in this match, 88%, Moeen Ali, Trent Bolt, Martin Guptill, Kane Williamson. Big side, there is protection down there, so Sodhi cleans up, but a good over from an England point of view, 29 without loss.
Oh, green tea, right? তো বলিস কি না তো সুন্দর কেন থ্যাঙ্কস এখন নিশ্চয় পার্লারে না ডিরেক্ট পার্টিতে
সবাই তো জিলাস হবি রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন ডাবল ময়শ্চারে ডাবল কেয়ারে বিউটিফুল স্কিন রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি
Three in a row for Tim Southey. A little bit of fortune again for Butler.
Big area is the Abu Dhabi ground, and it'll put a premium on the fielding and athleticism in the fielding. And New Zealand are the best outfit that I've seen in this tournament so far. Some of their catching, some of their groundwork, their speed. This is quite brilliant from Daryl Mitchell against Afghanistan. And throughout the competition, they have excelled.
Straight down the ground. Got that one pretty well, did Bairstow. Couple of bounces into the boundary for 4.
Yeah. First signs of real aggression from Bairstow and first signs of a bit of timing. He's just been searching for it. maybe a slightly slower ball or a three-quarter ball from Southey. And he's just clubbed this back over his head.
Tough to bowl 3 in a row in the power play. That has certainly got their rhythm. They've seen what you've got. The ball has stopped swinging. It's not easy. It's going down.
Talked of New Zealand's brilliance in the field throughout this competition. Stats guys reckon that they're top of the pile for runs saved in the outfield.
Some players with great hands. We saw that catch from Jimmy Neesham. Martin Guptill, wonderful, has been for so long in the field. Into long on, so protection back there now for Tim Southey. Deep square leg and a long on. But a good start for England. One thing that teams have done poorly, batting first in general, has been lose wickets inside the power play. So far, so good from an England point of view. First time that Tim Southey's operated with 3 overs inside the power play. He's played 87 T20 internationals and done it 7 times. What about those outfits?
They're on a spying mission, those boys, ahead of a potential final.
Just a little punch to mid-off. Single off the last ball of the 5th. 37 without loss.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ডওয়ার দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
Well, it may have been a slightly nervy start from England's point of view with the bat, but so far, so good. 37 on the board, and that is a very, very strong batting lineup, even without Jason Roy. Not too surprised that Bairstow was promoted up the order. There might have been a little bit of worries amongst England fans as to whether or not they could take advantage of the power play. But so far, going at just over 7 to the over. Not a bad start. After an expensive over from Trent Bolt, we're now going to see a change in the bowling. Adam Milne, how will he go on the surface with his extra pace? There's just a bit of movement behind the bowler's arm. Good evening, Nat.
Good evening, Natalie. Even start, isn't it? Bestow's looked a bit frenetic, which is a bit understandable the way he's been moved around the order. So just getting himself going. There'll be some wheels here, some pace from Adam Milne. And players know him well.
Oh, brilliant. Kane Williamson showing yet again how good New Zealand are in the field. How valuable will that be? Umpires just having a little chat. What's going to be the verdict between the two umpires? They had a little conversation. Soft signal is out.
Yes, please. Fair catch, yeah.
Okay, fingers are underneath. Thank you. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, please. Fingers are still underneath. Yes, keep it rolling. Fingers are still underneath. Thank you. I'm ready with my decision for the big screen.
Yep, excellent from Kane Williamson. They needed that. Johnny Bairstow was almost off anyway. He knew it'd been caught. He's gone for 13, 37 for 1.
এইটা নেন তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবু নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ
David Milan walks to the crease now for England at number 3.
Yeah, they needed a wicket, didn't they? They bowled really well without much reward, and here was their reward. Kane Williamson, brilliant. Diving forward to his left. We've highlighted how good they've been in the field. On the up, Johnny Bairstow. Now he's worried. He's worried because it's Williamson.
Fielding can make such a difference, and it has for New Zealand right through this tournament. Who knows how effective it'll be tonight. It's pressure on the England batters as well. They've got such a strong batting lineup.
Perfect for New Zealand as well. After this power play with Milan in, I reckon they'll go to spin, and probably the spin of Sodhi.
Pretty sure that Paul Rifle will probably know that that's not the place he should be. There's just a few issues behind the bowler's arm at the moment, particularly from this end. New Zealand have been so good in the power play right throughout this tournament. And so economical. And they've, in 5 out of the 6 games, taken at least 1 wicket in the power play. That could be crucial going into the end stages. How much resources do you have? England generally have a lot of resources with the bat. How many more wickets can they get?
Still a problem behind the bowler's arm. Really is ridiculous, to be honest. Not the first game of cricket ever played here. Not difficult to solve. But we're just waiting. He's ready again.
So much power in the shot. Just a lot of control as well. He's in such good form.
Yeah, and Milne's using that short ball. He will use that a lot because of the dimensions of this ground. England will do the same. They want Butler to be pulling it for 6 and 4. They don't want to put it on a tee where he just hits through the line straight. So expect some short balls.
Where's that pitched? Probably be outside.
Yeah, because of the length. It was back of a length, so difficult to get it to pitch in line, but it has skidded that one. Good pitch. It's a quick pitch that skids. And has a yard of pace. We've seen that. Pitching way outside leg. Struggled of late. In his last 10 innings, he only averages 21. Strike rate of 109. Need Milan to stand up here, England.
Last over of the power play belongs to New Zealand. It's a brilliant finish for them. 40 for 1.
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর প্যারাফিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার। বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
ডেলিভারি নেওয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
ঠিক আছে, খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 1014 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
So now fielding restrictions change. We have 5 outside.
জানাবো এই ওয়াটের মনোগণ ডেন আপনাদের যে কোনো দাবি থাক আমার কাছে বলবেন, আমি শেখ হাসিনার নেত্রীর কাছে আমি জানাবো এই ওয়াটের মনোগণ ডেন খরচ বাল বাল মনোগঞ্জ আস্তার বাল লাইটিং, আমি শেখ হাসিনার নেত্রীর কাছে মাননা শেখ হাসিনার নেত্রীর কাছে আমি বলবো, জোরাত করে বলবো আমার ওয়াটের যে কোনো সমস্যা হয় আপনার শেখ হাসিনার দোয়াতে আমি এত দূর চলে গেছি, আপনার যে কোনো সমস্যা হলে আপনারা বলেন, আমি আমার মালানা নেত্রীর কাছে আমি বলবো, জোরাত অনুরোধ করে বলবো আমার।
Some of them might be running a bit slower than others. Have a look at that.
He has struggled against England. Out of all the nations, his economy is the highest against England. Goes at 11 runs per over. England generally have played him well, but he's having a good tournament, Sodhi. In these middle overs, Sodhi and Santner have turned the screw for New Zealand.
Oh. Yeah, not a great record against England. And in that semi-final in 2016, he took 2 for 42 in his 4 overs. He was very expensive that game. That's beautifully bowled.
Even the spinners bowling it short here. Afraid to toss it up a little bit. That's what I was talking about. England not his favourite nation to play against. They've played him well. Can they play him well today?
It's not a bad start from him. Who does he bowl in tandem with as well? Can make a difference. Not on the other end. Sri Lankan fans had quite a bit to cheer about at the beginning of the tournament, and just a lot of their team here in Abu Dhabi. And a great atmosphere as well. Run 3 from 6. How long do they consolidate after that wicket? 45 for 1.
আর মেক্সিকান মশলা মাইন্ড ব্লাস্টিং ফ্লেভারের জিটোস পাউডার হবে জোস যদি থাকে জিটোস।
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
New Zealand used Southee for 3 overs on the trot in that power play. So he's just got the one left. He did get a bit of swing early on. That second over was very expensive. And for 15.
Now England's left-handers, Santner's on. They've got Milan at the crease. They've got Moeen Ali, who probably will be promoted now, that left-arm spinner's on. They've got the skipper himself, Owen Morgan. So Butler at the other end will be looking for his left-handers who are on strike to try and take Santner down. New Zealand have had 2 good overs here. I think they got 1 for 8 in those 2 overs. keep an eye on the left-handers. Can they get after Santner?
He's eyeing him up. That's the plan, clearly.
Yeah, they're going to try, definitely. Santner's bowled brilliantly in the tournament, but in the meeting last night, they would have said to the left-handers, it's going to be hard for Butler. Butler's a world-class player. Santner bowls well to right-handers. He will go as well. But the left-handers must cash in. They can't let him settle.
Oh, New Zealand have relied a lot on the brilliant economy rates of their seamers. The spinners have added so much to this attack as well. This is the phase of the game. You might want to just get a little move on with the bat, especially after the last couple of overs. So this could really define this innings. If Santner can bowl well here, it would help restrict this really strong batting lineup. Spoke about trying to put him off his line and not allowing him to settle. That might be one way to do it. 50 up.
50 up for England here. One way of hitting with the spin is obviously to switch it or reverse sweep. And Butler very smart. We saw that in the game against Sri Lanka. Hit with the spin, go the other way. You only have to get it past backward. You know Butler is excellent at that.
Slipper sort of changed his mind a little bit towards the end there. A little late adjustment from Butler. A late adjustment as well from Santner. So 7 runs off the over. 2 balls to come. England can take advantage here. Just might make Williamson change a few plans. Sentence finished that over really well. After that boundary, 53 for 1.
এই চ্যানেল তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না।
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি করেছি। লেবু নির্যাস আর প্রেম করতেছো তোমরা আবার এখানে কেন? তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতে।
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর প্লাটিনাম পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতো বিশুদ্ধ।
আপনার কি হয়?
He's got to be careful there. The umpire says that is in front. Will he review? This is a huge wicket. Yes, he is going to.
Third umpire to director. We have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out. It's a fair delivery. Front on spin vision, please. Okay, ball is close to the glove and the bat. Can we have alter here, please? Okay. Flat line, keep it rolling, please. Flat line, keep it rolling to the pads, please. Thank you. No bat involved. Ball tracking when ready. Pitching
left-handers, whether he'll introduce his six bowler in Jimmy Neesham and bowl back of the length. Butler got a reverse sweep away against Santner. He tried it against Sodhi, and it looked pretty straight, to be honest. Fabulous tournament. He's bowled well to right-handers, and he's got the big wicket. That's the one they wanted.
Sodhi's been pretty good to the right-handers through the tournament. He's picked up 7 wickets to right-handed batters, an average of just under 10. So 2 left-handers now at the crease. England may have discussed how to negate the 2 spinners. Maybe that's with a left-hander, 2 left-handers at the crease at the same time. What a fantastic few overs New Zealand have had. Looked pretty good after 5 overs for England.
It epitomises their tournament, really, with the ball and in the field. They've been outstanding. They just keep the opposition to below par, and they know they've got the batting line up to chase that. England have to try and get above par. Squeeze is on from New Zealand.
Oh. So what would New Zealand, do you think, be happy chasing then?
Yeah, 160. Anything above that in a semi-final, and the pressure is on, and their strong suit is obviously bowling. So England will have to go to get there 10 and over, but they've got plenty of batting to come.
Driving in the air, but into a gap. Bolt can't stop it this time around, and turns into a good finish to the over for England. 60 for 2.
Really good shot from David Malan. Just went over wide, extra cover.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 14.90 টাকা।
A good opener, especially in this format. Johnny Bairstow opened the batting today. He's done it before. He does very well opening the batting as well.
Well, we discussed it. 2 lefties in, take Santner off. It is so scripted nowadays, captaincy. They know what they're going to do, and they bring their 6 bowler on, Jimmy Neesham. It's all planned.
Darren, we've spoken a lot about the batting for England, haven't we?
Yes, we have. You know, the injury to Jason Roy, the captain would have told Bairstow he would be opening in the semi-final. So you could see he batting against the new ball, trying to do what Jason Roy did so good for England. It was not the case today. You could see he's in the dugout. New Zealand worked him out, got the breakthrough. You look at Bairstow, the way he batted, desperately trying to emulate what Jason Roy brought to the table. He tried to be aggressive, had some luck, but New Zealand was equal to the task. Bairstow couldn't get his innings going. Struck a luck here, good shot, and then trying to be ultra aggressive. Brilliant touch by New Zealand.
Oh, has that been put down? It was a big swing. spoke earlier about Conway behind the stumps and how good a job he's done, considering it's almost sort of a makeshift keeper.
Yeah, just carried, didn't it, to his left hand as well. He'd back himself to take that. He was done a little bit by pace. And the change to Nisham very, very nearly worked.
Just to finish what I was talking about, Besto, he's been so well. He's done so well for England in the middle over stage. Now they're bringing billions. Look at that strike rate. Only 128 compared to Besto's, almost 150. That's why over the years, England been able to chase down big totals. Today, that was not the case. Besto has a job to do.
I think Billings just saw that stat you put up there, Darren. He was just turning to everyone in the dugout going, thanks a lot to Darren Sammy. Bilbo, I back you, mate. You are top draw, yeah? I'm your man.
Yes, it's a crucial game to come in, you know, especially knowing the position you're going to be batting. The job has been done brilliantly by Besto. And that's what Kane Williamson and his men would be discussing. Get wickets early, get into the middle order of England.
What a fantastic shot. That is superb timing. Oh, hopefully he's going to be all right. He's gone over the boundary. Does end the over. 67 for 2. He looks all right. Phillips is such a good fielder. He does move quite quickly as well. He looks like he's okay. With that, we are going to have a drinks break.
ভাবছেন ঘরের বাতাসেও জীবাণুরা করছে কিলবিল? আরে যদি থাকে গ্রি, নো চিন্তা, ডু চিল। গ্রি এসি, এতে আছে অ্যান্টিব্যাকটেরিয়াল ফিল্টার যা প্রতিরোধ করে 99% জীবাণু। গ্রি এসি একটু বেশি ঠান্ডা।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট সার্চ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
এইটা নেন। তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না।
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবুর নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে। তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই।
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি, ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
Well, good to see Glenn Phillips is on the field. He is brilliant in the outfield, and this was quite an effort. He's had a He's had a long change. You can just see him there now. Oh dear. And up and over.
Well, incredible commitment in the field from Glenn Phillips. There are not many quicker across the ground in the whole tournament than him. He just got his hands caught in the kind of LED boundary boards there and cut the little finger and the third finger, but he's okay because he's coming on to bowl. He bowls off spin. Of course, he offers so much to New Zealand in the middle order as a hitter, off spinner, can keep wicket as well, and brilliant patrolling the boundary, quick across the ground. And because of the left-handed Moeen Ali, he's going to have a bit of a bowl now.
Moeen says, doesn't matter, I'll go downtown. He's one of the characters of our game, Glenn Phillips. I asked him some time ago, I said, how does a keeper start to bowl? He said, I used to get bored in practice. I had to keep doing something because I got bored, so I just started bowling.
You find these super talented athletes just able to do almost everything in the game now. Take Liam Livingstone, who bowls off spin and leg spin. You'll see that developing more and more in T20 cricket.
He's good at this shot. So the timing on this is exquisite from Malan. He's playing his role to perfection here.
Well, that's the third cover drive that Malan has played to the fence. This is his signature stroke, really. If you think of Dawid Malan, you think of maybe the cut shot, and you think of this extra cover drive. When he holds that shape, keeps a beautiful shape and times it away.
He's 19 of 14. He's holding this innings together at the moment.
Classic Malan, really, a slowish start and then gradually upping the rate. He's not somebody who's quick out of the blocks as a rule.
Oh dear. An exquisite shot followed by one rather less so.
Maybe that man out in the deep at cover has gone straighter because of those cover drives that Malan has played, and therefore he's looking to hit the ball square for his boundary option.
Now he'll still find the gap. I think it's almost like he's threading the needle here.
Well, this is Malan. We'll show you a selection of his cover drives, and they're all very similar. He gets in a beautiful position. He times the ball. He's not somebody who looks to club it or overhit it. He's just a timer of the ball.
Four boundaries for Dawid Malan. How can they get two here? That was the objective. Moeen says no. I think it might have been on, actually.
Well, they'd have been wary of both fielders, actually. Phillips, the bowler, tracking after that ball because, as I mentioned, he's very, very quick. This was the last of those cover drives from Malan. It's the way that he gets into position, really, gives himself room, gets his body shape to enable him to thread that ball over extra cover. And admired by Devin Conway, who plays those shots rather well himself.
Cover drive platter there. I think you could say that the idea was good in theory, but it hasn't worked because 11 came off the over. 78 for 2.
কেউ ভাবুক আর না ভাবুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতে। ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল স্যানিটাইজিং হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
He goes around the world playing cricket, Dawid Malan. Now he doesn't need to. He's got a permanent spot with England. He's earned his spurs just playing cricket all around the world, and sometimes that makes you tougher. It's needed to be. This place has always been under scrutiny in this England side. This is a good comeback now from England. They've gone over 7 and over.
It's a good matchup, this, for New Zealand. Milne to Moeen Ali.
So tempting to take the mind back to when these two teams played, isn't it? 50 over game, one of the greatest games ever played. Now it's easy with the recency factor. It was a big occasion. Whatever parameter you look at, it was just a great game there in 2019. Yes, Mill. I wouldn't be surprised if he bowls few short. More to Moeen, I suspect, than Malan. Oh, another. Another. Oh, he's pulled it back this time. Brilliant.
Fantastic fielding. Given another opportunity to hammer that ball through extra cover again. Malan is on the drive, but Glenn Phillips here running around from cover point. He is so quick and so committed. A fantastic piece of fielding.
I think he should audition for the 200 meters. Running around the curve, but
geez, there's some quick ones in this tournament. Temba Bavuma against Glenn Phillips. I would pay money to watch that over 100 meters. That would be a good contest.
Except that this one's clockwise, though. He's running clockwise here. Still hurting him. It is still hurting him. It would.
Still suffering a bit with that injury to his left hand from the previous attempt to put off the boundary. This time he does get to the ball. Look at him go. Legs are like pistons.
He didn't have that much space to cut it off because already 3 or 4 yards inside. I don't think they're going to get a second. It is a great thing about New Zealand cricket. Every run's got to be earned.
Better line from Milne, keeping it tight to Malan, giving him no room to free his hands.
Like with so many sides, New Zealand came here with a lot of wicket-keeping options as well. So many teams these days seem to have 2, 3 keeping options. Seifert, he's not playing today. The slow ball. You wouldn't have minded facing a few slow bounces in your time, Michael.
Well, we're going to see a lot more of this in this game because of the dimensions of the ground. Quite sizable boundaries square of the wicket. So you'll see these quicker bowlers explore the middle of the pitch. You'll see them bowl their slower balls into the surface to try and bring the square boundaries into play.
It's one of the best things about this tournament, in my view. Just the size of the ground. It's allowed bowlers to be different. It's brought spinners into the game. There's only one man in the field at the moment. Everything's going to him. 7 of the over, 85 for 2.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন সুরক্ষায় 10-10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
It's an aspect of our game that's changing, though. Should you be neutral in the box? Should you not be? I think you should.
Always.
Without doubt. The 2 wickets that fell best. Williamson has much of a part in this wicket as the bowler.
Yeah, top-class catch from the captain, and Ish Sodhi was always confident with that appeal, pitching in line and straightening fractionally. Good wickets to get. They came at good times, but they've just let Malan get away now, 28 from 19.
Well, what support does he have against Moeen Ali? He's got long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backwards square. There's a long off, outs too. Yeah, will be called wide. Strange line. I'm just thinking of some of the smaller grounds in New Zealand, some of the smaller grounds in India. They'll come back for two. No, they won't. This matchup would be so skewed in favor of the batsman.
Yeah, it's one of those differences that New Zealand have had to accommodate. Some tiny grounds, especially Auckland, down in New Zealand, a very different style of game, bringing boundary hitters into play. This is quite a sizable surface area here.
I wonder how long it took for him to make that banner. Just enjoy the game, my friend. Just enjoy the game. It's such a good cricket match, this. Oh, good stop. Good stop. I think it might draw a little bit of inspiration from what they did in Sharjah, different surface. Just 47 for 3 in their first 10. Hit 116 in the back 10. That is one of the great innings you'd see from Jos Buttler. They want someone like Malan to go around and convert this 29 of 20 into something like an 80 from 55. Oh.
Well, they've got some hitters to come for sure. Morgan will have his pads on. Livingston certainly will not want to waste Livingston. England, one of two teams that have scored at more than 10 runs and over in the last 10 overs of this tournament in all the games. Pakistan the other. So they finished strongly.
It's a tricky one. How do you optimize the resources that you have in a side? Because you're also playing cat and mouse with what the opponent is doing.
I think it's just a matter of flexibility, isn't it? You just have to be very flexible with your batting order. You won't always get it right because you can't always judge when the wickets are going to tumble. But West Indies in this tournament, for example, have been guilty of leaving one or two of their hitters in the shed till too late. And England won't want to do that with Livingston.
It's got away with a couple here in this over, Sodhi.
Well, left-hander on strike. So you'd expect to see Sodhi try and flick them out of the back of the hand.
Saw that incredible stat that he hasn't bowled a wrong run, hasn't bowled a googly. Oh, that'll go in the gap. It is so frustrating when a boundary comes off the last ball. That's happened 3 or 4 times now. It's 94 for 2.
কেউ বুঝুক আর না বুঝুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতেই। ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল ডিসইনফেক্ট্যান্ট স্প্রে।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
যেমন নাম তেমন কাজ।
এমএসসি ন্যাশনাল এগ্রিকেয়ার এসো স্বপ্ন ফলাই।
But the pitches haven't really turned in this tournament. It's been one of the surprises, really. So the spinners have tried to bowl rather quickly and into the surface and get the ball skidding through.
10 and over, 164. They'll do well to get there, but it'll be a good score, 164. What I found intriguing with Sodhi was, though, because of his high action, the googly is probably the easier ball to bowl. But he does bowl a lot of he's got a lot of wickets with the one that's gone straight through, and could be what you're saying, Michael, that he was actually trying to turn it away, and it went straight through. It's been so good in this tournament for them. We're talking about that magic moment. Was a magic day.
This is the moment. It's Archer to Guptill. 2 to win. Guptill's got to push for 2. They've got to go. It's got to go to the keeper's in. He's got to win the World Cup by the barest of margins. By the barest of all margins. Absolute ecstasy for England.
And then, of course, Ian Smith promptly called 2 more super overs.
I wonder if the great man is listening right now down in Hawke's Bay. He'll have a very nice bottle of red open, and he'll be settling in to watch this game, and let's hope it gives us just half as much drama as that magnificent game of cricket 2 years ago.
It was one of those where were you that day moments, wasn't it? 10 years later, where were you when the final of 2019 was being played? Shot. Might be a bit early for Smithy, but I don't think he'd mind.
It's never too early for Ian Smith. Well, this was firmly hit back, wasn't it, at Adam Milne by Milan, and Milne just stuck out a hand, really. Just a reaction attempt. Those balls sometimes stick in, but very firmly hit.
I remember the first time I was watching Jofra Archer, and one of those stuck, and he's just like, it's meant to be, completely nonchalant. How much they're missing him here. I think these two should just play a game all by themselves, Milan and Phillips.
It's surely where you want your quickest fielder for Milan. It's the crucial position, really, out on the cover boundary.
It's been a good over this, though. 5 from it. He's got to ensure he doesn't do what a couple of his teammates have been guilty of in the past, which is letting it all go with the last ball. Because everybody in the dugout, they'll all be on the edge of their seats and get a good one in this over well. And it reasonably well. 6 from it. 100 comes up with 6 left to play.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটিক মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 1014 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Conceding anyway. You think this game evokes lots of memories? This one will produce a lot of passion. Pakistan versus Australia. Maybe a few Aussies watching, but I think they'd be completely outnumbered.
They will. We've seen a fair few Pakistan fans here, actually, tonight, enjoying tonight's game before their team make an appearance tomorrow. Australia coming into some kind of form. Pakistan, one of the 2 best teams so far in the tournament, without question.
He bought an expensive over trend ball, especially the one 5 wides. 5 wides is the worst thing that can happen to you when you're fielding. Got to bowl the ball again. You've conceded 5. Now he's in his 3rd. Moin wants 2. He should get those.
Well, I made mention earlier in the day that New Zealand have been the outstanding fielding side in the competition. Good catch from Williamson in the opening power play to get rid of Bairstow. Unbelievable commitment in the deep from Glenn Phillips, who has saved a number of runs on the cover boundary.
Not sure he's timed that well. I think he got away with the fact that he didn't time it too well. Just fell short of Tim Southee. It's in the air for a while, but these are long boundaries. He had to run in a long distance.
Yeah, completely mistimed from Moeen Ali. It was a knuckleball from Trent Bolt, beautifully bowled, and you can see the ball slightly wobbling on its path down to Moeen Ali, and that's why he mistimed it so badly. It meant that it fell way short of Southee coming in from long off.
That's falling in no man's land as well. I just had the impression before that ball, it's about time that Moeen Ali went for the runs, because the idea is that Milan bats through, I think.
Well, pace off, that's what New Zealand are about at the moment. Change of bat for Moeen Ali, maybe a sign of frustration from him that he's finding the boundaries hard to come by.
Oh, he might have found the gap there. He has. He has, and this will be frustrating. I think it's a good shot, though. Look at the frustration. It's a shot that's well played.
Yeah, and generally earlier in the over, Bolt has taken pace off the ball. This is delivered normal pace, if you like, and just gives Moeen Ali therefore a bit to work with. That combination of the line and pace on the ball brings a precious boundary.
I think Moeen's decided. His time has come. They've got Livingston, Morgan, everybody's in there. One batsman's got to go for it from here if they need to get to 170. How does someone hit a six as big as Livingston hit the other day?
That was an incredible blow. Rarely heard a sound like that from a ball come off a bat.
He moved so much, and the ball just went to short fine leg. 10 came off the over. It's 110 for 2.
আর মেক্সিকান মশলার মাইন্ড ব্লাস্টিং ফ্লেভারের ডিটোস পাউডার হবে টোস্ট জড়ি থাকে ডিটোস
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
Good graphic if you're a Kiwi, this one. Yeah. Best economy in the death overs from those in black. Pakistan not bad. India, South Africa and Australia make up the top 5. Here at Zayed, the coaching staff join the occasion. Now a little nervy. The two Shanes, Jurgensen and Bond. Southey has just got pumped. First ball of the 16th disappears for 6. Southey under pressure, evening Darren.
Yeah. David Malan, he's been in for a while. His eyes in. Saudi just rolling his fingers. Didn't get the grip of the surface. What a catch by Seifert.
Little clip, yes, there we go. Southey's retort is a good one to get David Malan, who was looking very dangerous. Third one down.
Saudi adjusting his length. It's fuller. Getting the bottom edge. Good comeback by Team Saudi. David Malan goes for 41. England 116 for 3.
Luxurious silky finishing ও অ্যান্টিব্যাকটেরিয়াল প্রপার্টি সমৃদ্ধ বার্জার লাক্সারি সিল্ক এমালশন শুধুই গ্ল্যামারাস দেয়াল নয়, আমার স্মৃতি রাঙিনা।
প্যানেলের গ্যারান্টি
শুধুমাত্র কঙ্কা এলইডি টিভি দিচ্ছে প্যানেলের 4 বছরের গ্যারান্টি।
বুঝতেই পারছেন কি হবে স্মার্ট ডিসিশন।
কঙ্কা সাধ্যের মধ্যে সবটুকু।
Tall, languid figure in this England lineup, Liam Livingston, 28 years of age and very, very good strike rate. Anything over 135 you'll take, he's over 150. And colleagues were just going on about how much he strikes it, how hard and long he hits it. England fans will be hoping he can get a wriggle on now. Perfect time for him to come in, really. Here's Southey. Up and running straight away.
There's the wicket. Just scrambles him a touch fuller from the ball before. If you look at David Milan trying to repeat that shot he played before.
Yeah, can't blame him, Darren. He said, get on a roll, you start with a great 6 off the first delivery, and you get that roll and that momentum in T20, and Milan was seeing it beautifully. So a little change in the field here, given that it's Moeen Ali. Third man's gone back, square leg out from the fence. Yes, shrewd, smart.
And that's why New Zealand, the bowlers are so skillful. Could see that 6. Saudi was trying to take that wicket. A touch fuller. Didn't get the bounce from the first ball. Getting the bottom edge.
Timing. One again, it just underlines the versatility of this New Zealand attack and how long they've been together. Particularly Southey, Bolt, and you're throwing a bit of Ish Sodhi, and now Santner, Neesham as well. Fairly useful this. Oof. Yeah, it's a good comeback here from Tim Southey. All his experience. As you're saying, Darren Sammy, that it's subtly slower, a little bit fuller, and that scramble scene that he's renowned for, Tim Southey. Tries to catch it, little splice, he gets away with it. Does Livingston. Living dangerously, 16 done, 119 for 3.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার। বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে ব্যবহার অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
ঠিক আছে, খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 1014 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Outside, and it's a feel good for Tim Southey. Yeah, second to the great Lasith Malinga in terms of wickets taken in T20 internationals. Even Stevens, but a Shakib who went home injured. Time for a Sodhi again. Have to reload this one.
You could see Kane Williamson. This is where he earns his money as a captain. He knows how strong Livingston is against the fast bowlers. Get this wicket-taking leg spinner, spinning the ball away from him.
Yeah, it's his last one for Sodhi. Start of this, it's 1 for 22. He's milked him nicely in a way. Didn't want to really get out to him and lose wickets against Sodhi. Such a wicket taker. And you had Southey bowl out 1 for 24 with 11 dots. Superb.
Now Livingston has done the right thing. The matchup, the leg spinner bowling to the left-hander. Moeen Ali needs to get a move on. This is very crucial right now. This over from Ishodi.
Heading to the bigger side, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Got this and a bit more at Moeen.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Danny. Ishodi just fighting this one right into the act of Moeen Ali's bat.
Sounded so good. Very clean. Says it all.
And as captain, you make a decision, you take a risk. Because you know the matchup, how dangerous Livingston could be to your fast bowlers. So you take the gamble to get him out with the leggy. But then you also have to consider the left-hander who's at the crease. And that's what Kane Williamson would not want.
The bowl a little flatter. You understand the intent from Moeen Ali. Here's a real time. Watch this. Dancing shoes on and so easy and so clean. I'm loving the seating pods on the grass banks here at Zayed for this ICC World T20. Again, a little bit more flight, different pace, different line, different trajectory. I think it's a wonderful initiative, particularly if you've got a young family, they've only just started to learn to walk, hem them in.
Not if you have kids like me, Danny, they're not staying in that. They're going to be running all over the place.
Yeah, saw him coming, just pushed it. Sodi thinking it too. Big boundary, hustle. A little bit quicker and a little bit more accurate with the throw. Took it on. Came back all right, did Moeen Ali.
As you look at what's left for Williamson, Bolt got one, Milner got one.
He's going to hold on to the strike here. It's Moeen Ali. So 11 off, 130 for 3.
এনএসি সুপার কোয়ালিটি হাইব্রিড ধান বীজ জনকরাজ।
ন্যাশনাল এগ্রিকেয়ার স্বপ্ন ফলাই।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
Wasn't too bad a power play, and it was a 1 for 41 there for England. Consistent, they've ticked along, and they've lost too many wickets, so you can see the strategy, conserving wickets in the bank to try and go big now in these overs.
And they got the guys to go big. Milner, you got one. Bolt will bowl another one. Nisham, he's done a good job in the games before. Will bowl the other over. But it's the business end right now. Moeen Ali set, Livingston at the other end.
Oh, slower. Senator, and as sweet as from Moeen Ali.
That's right in the slot. It's not full, but for Moeen Ali who hangs back, look at that. Right in the slot. Did not get it high enough. Boom. Out of the park.
Oh, the modern blades of the modern athlete. Biggest boundary going around in the UAE. And it cleared it rather comfortably. Yeah, it's a big straight here at Zayed, and then those pockets are sort of long on, long off, but square. That's the smaller side here tonight. Thinking it too. Thought about it, but thought better of it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. The penultimate over, Darren Sammy, your 19th, that second one is so crucial, let alone your last one.
That's short tracker. 81 meters. Monster. Just had some hang time, Danny, like you'd say.
Head wings on it. You could see what was Moeen Ali was trying to do against that. It was just that slow tennis bally one. It just hung in the pitch just fractionally a bit longer.
Now, Milner got to be careful here. You don't want that length ball into the arc of Livingston. Keep the ball away from him.
Oh, and he did. Now he holds on. Good stuff. Good experience from Shodi. Nothing outrageous. Don't need any more overthrows. And a chuckle between batter and bowler. They know each other well. Milne, he backed himself. This. Oh, he's got away with that, you reckon?
Definitely got away with that.
Moeen Ali's best score in the T20 World Cups. Oh, so easy. Yeah, he just held it back. Just check the stroke there, Moanelli. It wasn't trying to lift it completely for 6. Nice and sensible.
Sometimes as fast bowlers, I was never one, Danny. But the guys who bowl quick, something about bowling a bouncer, plays with their ego. The batter and his strength says, keep the ball away from him. You got to swallow that pride, maybe even bowl a slower ball outside the off stump, but do not go again, do not bowl into that arc.
He heard you. There's that slower one, but he doesn't quite get it right.
As captain, I wouldn't mind that. He's trying to execute the plan, keeping the ball away from the batter. They've done their homework. Gary State doesn't look as cool as
it's you.
I didn't want to say it.
I helped you out. But when I look at the 10 and over gets them to that 163, I think England would take that in a bit more. Particularly if Livingston can get a couple of those out of the screws.
Look at that delivery. That's what I'm talking about. It's not the best ball, but look at the line. You've got to fetch it outside the off stump. You want to be a touch wider than that to Livingston.
Well, we've got one to go here in the 18th. It's gone for 10. New Zealand have disappeared off the last ball too often for, I think, Williamson's liking. Can't close it out. Catch this, Darren Sammy. Oh, it's a monster to win the 18th. 16 from the 18th. It's 146 for 3 now. Holy smoke. Slides back in the box. Oh, Darren.
I warned him. Don't ball it in the slot.
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার। বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটিক মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
ডেলিভারি নেওয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
ঠিক আছে, খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 1014 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Rather outrageous time of it. I think very good in the 100. I think about T20s all around the globe and all the franchise cricket that players play now. Evan Lewis, know what he's about, and Nicholas Pooran. Here's Bolt. So, Indigo Yorker. They mentioned England, that's at 164.5 and some. Want to keep going? Well, this is the guy to do it.
That's a good distance.
And it not only went the distance, it went a long, long way up. That's the plan against Livingston, certainly. The wider, fuller one. It's going to be fascinating if New Zealand can't hold England to around that 170.
This is what I'm talking about. Got seamers to Livingston this tournament. They've tried to keep him wide, keep the ball away from him. Look at the boundaries. And I'm telling you that last 6 was probably right at the bottom here of the screen.
Swatted. Oh, he had a lot of work to do, Marty Guptill. If he can't get it, not many can. Boundaries flowing here for England.
That brings up the 150. New Zealand known to be the most economical bowling team in the last 5 overs. But they're up against it today. The line was good. He executed the plan, but Livingston was just better.
What's Bolt got here. Come back, as bowlers do with the challenge in T20. Pump down the ground or hit for 6 out of the ballpark. What's your retort? Yeah, trying to go block hole. So 8 from 4, and it's back to Moeen Ali, who's 44 from 32, 2 and 2, 4s and 6s that is. Striking not bad at all in England. Dearly love these two to finish things off here.
I think they'll want more than 169. Couple maximums will get them there.
A bold Trent Bolt. Yeah, good thinking, smart, brave, and well, you have to be. Back yourself with your variety as a bowler at the death. Well done. And such a go-to delivery in 2020 at this time. Hasn't had to come out Owen Morgan at all. Take one and be happy. So 9 off. It's 155 for 3.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ডওয়ার দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
Partnership 39 from 24. And English fans loving this partnership and enjoying the entertainment with the DJ. So I've had 19. Wasn't too bad an over. So I went for 9 of the penultimate. What do we got now? With the last 6 balls is going to have to be bowled by Jimmy Neesham. Pressure on him.
Yes, and it could decide who goes in the break with the momentum.
100%. It's crisp. Think about 2. It's not going to be there. Southey does well. With the tension of it all, be another tight finish right at the end of this one.
Jimmy Neesham normally holds the ball in the wide line.
This will be fascinating. This will be really fascinating because he doesn't often bowl the last over. Jimmy Neesham. And here's a golden arm sometimes. Oh, yes, Jimmy Neesham. Goes his way. It's a dot ball and a wicket. Santner gets in the way. It's the end of Livingston.
Look at the line of that delivery. Taking him wide. Livingston goes 17. England 156 for 4.
Captain's out, but he's at the non-striking end. So got the 2 left-handers now out there, Moeen Ali. So had a lovely hand here, 46 from 35. Striking at, well, let's call it 132. 4 to go on this over. the last of the innings. Sally's not going to stop this, and here's a half century to Moeen Ali.
Brings up his first World Cup 50. Last World Cup semi-final, he said he would have loved to contribute. Well, today he has given England a chance in this semi-final. Nisha missing his length. Moeen not trying to overhit this one, just placed it.
160 the score. Another full toss. Can't get the gap. He can't get all of it. Both the bowler and the batter miffed. He's missed his spot here as Nisham, and so is Moeen Ali. Yeah, good numbers.
England needed an inning like this. New Zealand kept them honest. What a time to come up with the goods. Semi-final, big match, all the pressure. Moeen Ali delivers.
Time for the captain. Yeah, just pushed it a little. We'll come upstairs here as a wide, but I think no, Erasmus won't have to. Yeah, breached 160. England, I suppose the toss, would you say, okay, you're going to get 160, let's say 168. And you take that at the toss. Get back, Moeen. Still 2 to go. And Morgan just eyeing up that onside. It is the smaller side here, Zayed, for the semi-final. Gathers. Here we go. Well, they're going to get 2. There's the parry. Bolt couldn't hold it cleanly.
I wonder if that was deliberate, just to get Moeen, just to get Morgan back on strike. Have a look at this from Spider Cam. Just hey, have another one.
Or have another burger, as the case may be. To the max here.
That's what you call supporting your team. Want to see him lay it down.
Last one of the innings for England, barring a wide or no ball from Nisham. Sliced. Taken. Oh, no, he's put it down. Phillips ended up on his heels and he's lost his footing. So it means they get to 166 for 4 in 20 overs. And a little life there right at the end. Should have been taken by Phillips, but wasn't.
There you go. Morgan trying to get to that maximum. Glenn Phillips been awesome in the field, lost his footing, did well to keep his eye on it. But you know, last 10 overs, 99 runs for England.
Yeah, they'll be pleased, particularly from Moeen Ali getting to a half century. 51 not out from 37. Very timely knock and a great contribution from the off-spinning all-rounder Moeen Ali. Kiwis, I think I'll take that as well. Good surface, under lights. So Nisham at that last over, 1 for 18. Now should have been 2, probably for 16. So scorecard in terms of their 20 overs. Butler 29, unlucky 13 for Bairstow. Milan got into the 40s and couldn't kick on a bit more. Livingston a little cameo, 17 from 10. And then Moeen Ali, that 51 from 37, the standout with 11 extras to get through to 166 for 4. So the New Zealand bowling, 1 for 24 for Saudi with 11 dots. Very, very useful indeed. Mill, 1 for 31. Sodi, 1 for 32. And Nishan, 1 for 18 with the wicket takers. Here for the Black Caps. We're going to go sideline and have a little interview.
Glenn, in the wars out there, how's your hand, first of all?
Yeah, it's all right. Got a few cuts and bruises, but that's all good. It's going to be all right for batting.
What happened? You just got it caught in the LED lights there?
No, there's a metal thing that was sitting on the other side, and as I went over, my hand went straight into it. So a little bit niggly, but it's all right.
Unbelievable commitment out there, I must say. Dare I ask, what do you do 100 metres in?
Not as fast as I used to, but I'm trying to get there once again.
Now, what about this total that England have put on the board? How do you evaluate it?
I think for us, it's about going out there with a real positive mindset and also trying to keep up with the rate. For us, we want to be able to try and finish it with an over before the end of the game, and that's the way we want to go about our business out there today.
It looks as though pace off the ball was the way New Zealand liked to go. Is the pitch a little slow?
It was a little bit hard to tell from square leg. There was a bit of mixed feedback. Some held and some went through all right. So we'll have to assess it once we get out there and play accordingly.
Key men for you, second half of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can hit a few bombs.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Yes, hang in there. Glenn Phillips. It's a hand all bandaged there. Couldn't quite take that catch on the boundary. And 40 for 1. Wasn't bad from both sides. Just a little circumspect and having a good look. England. 70 for 1, but there, the last part of the second half of the innings, 10 overs going for 99. So good comeback from England, and particularly Moeen Ali and Dawid Malan. Target is 8.35 runs per over from 120 balls. New Zealand, to win the semi, have got to get up to 167. Take a break and check out the reply.
Fantastic shot. Brilliant.
Let the game, let the game.
It's just like that. From Moeen Ali.
Let the game, let the game.
I recommend MRF ZLX for sheer comfort and long life. MRF ZLX, you can bet on it.
They say that our cricket rivalries divide us. Yet millions of us travel to share our passion for cricket. We say where we go as rivals, we stay as friends.
The game, love the game.
Wide mid innings and back at the Zayed Stadium here in Abu Dhabi. This is England versus New Zealand. There's always drama, isn't there, when it's England versus New Zealand. And England have gone and put on 167. A lot of drama. At one time you thought they might go more. New Zealand kept pulling it back all the time. These are two excellent teams. They're telling themselves, I think we are ahead in this game, but it's not a done deal yet. Very, very few teams have chased 167. Only one has in this tournament. Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. Right out there come the New Zealand openers. Daryl Mitchell, Martin Guptill. $167 then to get 8.35. Nasser Hussain alongside me. First thoughts on 167, Nasser?
I think it's slightly above par, and I think Guptill is the absolute key wicket. If Guptill gets off to a flyer, then New Zealand have got that sort of dependable middle order that can get them over the line. If they lose Guptill early and the run rate builds, who's going to play that explosive innings? So the match-up with Guptill, absolutely vital.
England always going with the extra batsman, New Zealand with the extra bowler. So they need that one batsman set. Bowls well up front, does Chris Woakes. I won't be surprised if he bowls a majority of his overs up front. The economy is just under 7. So he had one magic game. He's been around for a while, Martin Guptill. Keep your eyes out. We will for you as well to see if there's any towels around. None so far. Just find it a bit worrying if games are decided on that, so hopefully there will be none. Let's see if Bolt gets some movement. Both Southey and Bolt, I thought, were excellent with the new ball. The first 2 or 3 overs. And so there's a slip in place to 167, 8.35. Chris Woakes. He's off and running straight away, Martin Guptill.
Yeah, toe into the bat, and he just got it over Owen Morgan. That extra cover. You can't give Guptill any width. England would have discussed this in the meeting. He stays leg side of it. You see his feet don't move across. So anything wide, he's going to throw the kitchen sink at. Got to be tighter.
I see what you're saying, even though the kitchen sink is not the easiest thing to throw. Strike rate 133, but just so crucial. It's getting movement, there's no doubt. Just wonder whether he wants to start it straighter.
A bit of shape there. And that's why I think this is a decent score, because with that seam position, it's just done a little bit. A bit for Southey up front.
Oh, looks to go straighter, but this might be enough. This might be the dream start for England, and Chris Woakes has delivered it.
It did go straighter, and you can see England are absolutely ecstatic with the big wicket of Guptill. It just sat in the pitch a little bit. England's openers struggle with that. Guptill's gone. He made 4 for 1. Feel unlucky there. It was going way down the leg side. Easy catch for Moeen Ali. Chris Wopes again with the wickets. That is a big, big wicket. Guptill's gone for 4 for 1.
এইটা নেন তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবুর নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে। তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই।
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
Not the start New Zealand wanted at all. Not at all. He's always walking into a crisis. I look at Ken Williamson, sometimes I think he should be a world leader. He's always walking into a crisis. He's managing it well. But Gupta was a big player, Nas, as you were saying.
Yeah, because he can destroy you in a power play, really. Leading edge straight to Moeen Ali. You can see the England players and fans in the background. Just to keep the momentum going of a above par score, batted pretty well. And now an early wicket. And that's what it means to the two injured lads. They're up, Mills and Roy. Great to see.
Sometimes you just want the little things going your way. I think when Bolt and Southey were bowling early on with the new ball, just a couple of things went England's way. Now you think, is this a sign of things to come? Do you believe in all that?
They want to go their way now. There's a little nick from Williams. Yeah, you've sensed that probably. New Zealand from that World Cup final sense that it went a little bit England's way. Beautiful seam position, really is. Slip and a gully for Williamson. The gully more for that run-down shot that he plays to get off strike. But he's catching as well.
He's got that in the gap. Not sure he's got enough for it to get to the boundary. It's got to be a photo finish, this. Get it back in. So mixed over this. They got a wicket which was important, conceded 8 for 1.
পাপরিকা আর মেক্সিকান মশলার মাইন্ড ব্লাস্টিং ফ্লেভারের ডিটোস বাবু হবে টোস জোরে থাকে ডিটোস।
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
The fine player Devon Conway has made such a big impact in international cricket. Just through that one lapse going to his left as the stand-in keeper. I think they would have considered Phillips as a stand-in keeper too. Just went with Conway eventually as Jordan. He's been excellent for England in this series. Economy rate very good. Always find 2 overs for him left to the death. But because we've got so used to seeing him bowl at the death, sometimes you forget he's pretty nippy up front. Kumar Dharmasena from Sri Lanka knows what it is to win a World Cup. Roy Erasmus, very good umpire. Always there, he's smiling again. He's always smiling. You tense, Nasser?
No, not at all. I think England have played some good cricket so far today. In a good, healthy, strong position, and they want to get this man.
Just got the impression. I want to tell you, 14 fours, 4 sixes in case you're counting in that innings, but there is no countback anymore. You've just got to go on playing super overs. No more than 2 allowed outside. Where do we have them? One at deep square, one at third man.
Fascinating how England's pre-plans, they'll be bowling it into the surface here, especially now they've seen this pitch do a little bit. Won't be any freebie drive balls. Try and hit the splice of the bat as often as possible. You see that? That's what they've done consistently. They've come here and they've got their seamers to hit the splice. They believe some of these pitches have been too paced. There'll be no floaty drive balls. There shouldn't be anyway.
He's not been at his best in this T20 World Cup. I don't know if it's the elbow that's bothering him. But another day that's going straight into the stumps. Just a single. He's been good for England. Chris Jordan, especially with Tim Mills going away, he's had to shoulder a load. He stand at mid-off when the others are bowling. 3 wickets against Australia. Good support in the deep, not needed in the last one.
Yeah, England have fielded well in the deep as well. They've taken some good catches. We've seen Chris Wokes there at mid-on take that catch against Australia. Had an excellent tournament.
Calls for 2. It could be more than that. Should be. And while he saved the boundary, he's ensured there'll be 3.
Yeah, interesting. I went down there in the interval. There was no dew at all, actually. We saw New Zealand slip with that drop catch for the last ball of the New Zealand innings, or England innings. Just sliding there a little bit, Livingston. I don't think there's that much dew out there. And England will want it to stay away.
Now you might have seen it on the slide otherwise. Tall man in the deep ball was a good idea, as we saw with Jason Holder pulling off that remarkable catch. Just 4 of this over so far. And 5 it will be. 2 gone, it's 13 for 1.
কেউ জানুক আর না জানুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতে। তাই ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল ইনস্ট্যান্ট হ্যান্ড স্যানিটাইজার।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
লাক্সারিয়াস সিল্কি ফিনিশিং ও অ্যান্টিব্যাকটেরিয়াল প্রপার্টি সমৃদ্ধ বার্জার লাক্সারি সিল্ক এমলশন শুধুই গ্ল্যামারাস দেয়া নয়, আমার স্মৃতি রাঙিনা।
But you look at that lineup and you say, who's the enforced in the middle order? One way, Phillips, Neesham. Who's going to drag the game their way? Santner at 7. Milne can bat south, he can bat. You don't want to be going that deep. Sodhi can swing his bat too. So who's the enforcer there? A good hard-working batsman. Good nudgers, cutters. 4 players with the big 6-hitter there. Phillips maybe is on top of the 6-hitters list. Neesham maybe.
Gets away with that one. Wokes with fine leg up. Got away with it. Couple of yards either side of Adil Rashid, and that would have gone away before.
You mentioned England's fielding. You've had people like Adil Rashid taking excellent catches in this tournament.
Yeah, both these sides have been exceptional in the field. Big spaces out there, so the 2s are going to be vital. Billings has added to the fielding as well. He's an exceptional fielder coming into this team.
Another keeper who's a brilliant athlete in the deep. Got lots of those. The other thing with both these sides is that they're the 2 best power play bowling sides in the tournament.
Steve Bruce, former Newcastle manager, we just saw he absolutely loves his cricket. Loves it.
Yeah, I guess if you've grown up in England, just like you played cricket, love football. I once spent a day with Lewis Hamilton, loved cricket. It's a sport where you've got to move a little faster.
Slip comes out now, goes to mid-wicket. Does allow Williamson just to play that shot. Runs it off the face down to third man to get off strike.
It's bowled a very good line.
Brilliant again from Moeen Ali. If England do go on in this tournament and go to a final, it could well be one of the candidates for player of the tournament. With ball in the power play, with bat, and because he batted so long, New Zealand didn't bowl Santner. Amazing, really. A little bit like against Australia when Moeen Ali didn't bowl because Finch was at the crease. Santner was kept out the attack. Exceptional white ball cricketer.
Oops, up in the air, Adil Rashid. This is such a huge moment. It's Wokes again, and this time it's Williamson.
2 big wickets for Wokes now. Guptill and Williamson, the scoop didn't work, 13 for 2. He missed out the ball before when he didn't get it past Rashid, so he tried something funky. And he just scooped it in the air to Adil Rashid. And England continued to catch well. 2 huge wickets. Guptill gone, Williamson gone, 13 for 2.
সবুজ বিপ্লবের স্বপ্নদ্রষ্টা জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমানের ছবি দিয়ে তৈরি বিশ্বের সর্ববৃহৎ শস্যচিত্র এবার স্থান করে নিল গিনেস বুক অব ওয়ার্ল্ড রেকর্ডসে। বাংলাদেশের এই গৌরবময় অর্জনের অংশীদার হতে পেরে ন্যাশনাল এগ্রি কেয়ার গর্বিত।
এনএসসি ন্যাশনাল এগ্রি কেয়ার, এসো স্বপ্ন ফলাই।
কিন্তু প্যানেলের গ্যারান্টি শুধুমাত্র কঙ্কা এলজিটিভি দিচ্ছে প্যানেলের 4 বছরের গ্যারান্টি।
বুঝতেই পারছেন কি হবে স্মার্ট ডিসিশন।
কঙ্কা সাধ্যের মধ্যে সবটুকু।
Fine player, Devon Conway. Got to a stage in New Zealand where they were just waiting for him to fulfill his qualification to be able to become a black cap. 30 years old, lovely story. Like Luke Ronchi. Luke Ronchi went over from Australia. Devon Conway's come from South Africa. He's got a lot of work to do along with Daryl Mitchell. Oh, the ball. It's a good spell from Ropes.
Williamson just trying to get enough of it. Wasn't brave enough. He didn't stay on the shot long enough. Adil Rashid was not dropping that. It was such a big wicket. Wokes 2 for 8 and just about to finish his second over.
And he does finish it at 2 for 8. It's excellent from him. It's 13 for 2.
বেকম্যান দ্বারা আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Second over now for Chris Jordan, only he's going round the wicket because he's got a left-hander in front of him. Strike rate of 133, average 25. They need him to do much more. Oh, it's flirting with danger. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough being a parent. Right, how high did that go? Just 14 meters. It's in the air long enough, and Rashid didn't have to do much. Most days that'll clear the fielder there.
Pitch has worked perfectly for England throughout this tournament. They haven't really moved away from test match lengths. We just bang away at length. They've not had to really go to their variations. And in Wokes in particular, they have that test match type bowler. Jordan's doing that as well.
Right, Captain Nasser, how are you playing this? Now, Vokes is bowled 2. It's his strength. You keep Vokes going. What if Jordan gets a wicket? Do you keep him going as well? Do you want to pull them back?
I'd give Wokes one more, definitely. Get another wicket, and you're nearly there. Jordan, you may need at the death of the innings, so you have to think with no Tamal Mills, you have to think of your death bowlers. You go Wood straight up. It does seem to be doing quite a bit for the seamers, so I would follow with Wood. Give them anything, no freebies at all. Keep the pressure on. Only change when they've reacted. I know Conway well. He played some cricket down at Somerset in the Blast, but also he got a shed load of runs against them last summer before the World Test Championship final. Test cricket, but this is completely different. For a while, these two New Zealanders have got to get a partnership going.
We'll be aware too that the required rate's already 9.3. No timing. No timing at all. England tightening the screws very, very early in this game.
A lot of the batters have struggled with their timing. Tends to suggest that 166 is a pretty good score on here. Maybe too paced. Some are hitting a bare patch and dying, some in a green patch and zipping through.
Only once has a total bigger than this been chased down. Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. What an over. Not a run of the bat so far. He wants to finish it well. 11 semi-final appearances for New Zealand. For a reason, they're a wonderful side. Not one of them's got converted into a title. And it looks like it's getting tougher and tougher by the minute for them. This T20 World Cup. Right now, has he broken the shackles? One bounce into the boundary for 4. Not enough, but it's a beginning. 18 for 2.
Oh, green tea, right? তো বলিস কি না তো সুন্দর কেন?
থ্যাঙ্কস, বাট নর্মাল টি।
এখন নিশ্চয়ই পার্লারে না ডিরেক্ট পার্টিতে।
সবাই তো জিরাস হবি। রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন, ডাবল ময়শ্চারে ডাবল কেয়ারে বিউটিফুল স্কিন। রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
Such an asset when you have someone like Wokes who can bowl so effectively up front. The white ball hasn't moved a lot this World Cup, but it has today. Perfect for Wokes. Oh, he's gone through with a shot. Just 2. Timing wasn't quite there.
2 wickets already for Wokes. Both big wickets. Gupta with a leading edge, just through the shot early, and then trying something different. Kane Williamson trying the scoop, but scooped it straight to Adil Rashid.
Can't afford to lose any more wickets, but they can't let the asking rate go up. It's a dilemma. They had no option but to keep playing shots. This will become an handy. It's just one field in the deep. He was in another pin code.
Yeah, because we're in the power play, you need a third man because the pitch is doing a little bit and Billings is out a deep square. Mitchell moves into double figures. His first boundary.
Call it postcode in England, don't you? Pin code in India, zip code somewhere else.
That is a postcode. Key one there is that middle one, bowls back of a length. England have discussed this at length in this tournament. They feel the pitches are a bit too paced and just keep bowling back of the length unless someone suddenly gets on top of that length, which no one really has managed.
This is perfect from Mitchell. Last ball getting a boundary without taking a chance. 7 of the over so far. We mentioned Moeen Ali a little while back. I just think it's been a fantastic tournament for him. He's done everything the captain's asked of him. Some of us were sitting, making a team of the tournament, as we always do, and Moeen was one of the easiest picks. .131 strike rate, average 46. You ask him to bat at 3, he'll say yes. Ask him to bat at 6, he'll say sure.
Yeah, he's a good fielder, and obviously in the power play and in general, he's been quite brilliant with his off-spin as well.
Ooh. Most points for England, Moeen Ali. No surprise at all. Gives you points with 2 skills. Chris Woke 68, Milan 57, and the lone New Zealander in there so far is Sodi. Oh, he needed to hurry. Luckily for him, he ran with the shot.
He had to be careful because he found England's best fielder in Chris Jordan at mid-off. Outstanding athlete, Chris Jordan. Had 3 stumps to aim at. He had to just run round Wokes. That was the problem for Conway. I think he would have got home anyway. Let's look. Yeah, just had to run round Wokes.
You're right. If you're someone like Chris Jordan, you don't get much batting to do, you still contribute 2 ways. That's so important for everybody who plays this game. That's a bare minimum. That's a given. You have to contribute 2 ways. Two for 16 after 3 for Wokes. It's 26 for 2 from 5.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
One more over to go in the power play. We will see some spin from England. Used to spin a lot in the power play through this tournament. Slight change in plans by the England captain this time around. The 2 seamers opening up together up front. So now we will see some spin. Moeen Ali has done such a good job through the tournament in the power play. It'll be Adil Rashid. How does New Zealand approach this? They found themselves in a bit of a hole. They've got to find a way out of it. I was about saying, really, that they need a partnership. Pressure on that man who may be feeling it. And next to me might be feeling the nerves as well. Good evening, Simon.
Natalie, evening to you. No nerves here. Best sider on top.
So well placed. Very nicely done by Conway. The boundary that's been needed.
Yeah, one of the keys for New Zealand and having Mitchell at the top, and one of the reasons for it is also to have Conway in the middle. They say that he plays spin as well as anything. Reads spin very well. Got a tough ask here with Adil Rashid bowling a lot of wrong ins. Moeen Ali, I'm sure, will into the attack shortly. This is part of the reason New Zealand went with Conway in the middle.
Gotcha. Conway has made the move to New Zealand a few years back, and it's really dividends for him. His family's enjoying it.
And John Mitchell there as well, I can see. Former All Black coach, former number 8 as well in his playing days.
So a long ask from Rashid. Thought about it initially. Sort of stuttering appeal in a way. Don't seem to even be considering it.
John Mitchell was England assistant coach as well. Not that he'll have any affiliation to England tonight. The All Whites there as well, New Zealand's football team over in this part of the world. Bit of training going on.
Rashid maybe just got away with that a little bit. His leg side. Just a small opportunity there to some more runs in this over. So crucial. New Zealand have a good few overs. Well, that's just what was needed. And what a way to finish the power play for New Zealand. 36 for 2.
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
ডেলিভারি নেওয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
ঠিক আছে, খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Power play's done. 6 overs gone. New Zealand had a little recovery towards the end of the power play. Need quite a bit more. The field can spread now as well. That means Morgan is going to wood. That's a couple of overs the other night were very expensive against South Africa. Woolly ball here. So far we've seen bowlers, in particular the seamers, going into the pitch hard. What is he aiming for? And look at the field they're setting up at the moment. You see the fielder going down to third in the boundary. They've got a sweeper on the offside as well. One on his back. Spinning leg is back as well. So he's finding.
Yeah, you're saying that partnership goes without saying, but they cannot dawdle. They can't afford to have a partnership that takes time. Well, these two has to still be relatively aggressive. Can't leave those to come 13, 14, 15 and over from a long way out. New Zealand have to find a way to pick up a boundary and over. Be relatively aggressive. Mitchell, 49 off 35 against India. Powerful up the top, was dismissed just before the game was won by New Zealand. Part of the reason for Mitchell at the top. He plays the quick bowling very well. Spent a lot of his younger years learning his trade in Perth in Western Australia. Does like to run at the spinners as well, particularly the off spinner if Moeen Ali gets an opportunity.
Was 2. And he was always going to come back. Conway was very quick to turn, There's a nice early call as well. Those twos can be important. Dot balls racking up means that the run rate required just keeps going up. One of the things that New Zealand will know is that England have struggled with the bowling and the closing overs this last 5. They've also already used Jordan for 2 overs as well, so something maybe to look forward to for New Zealand at the back end, but how much do they want to score in those last 5 overs? Prize of catch it. Is this another one? Nope, this time around, the luck goes with New Zealand.
Just too high for Mitchell on that occasion. Well above the head. Still went at it. Top edge, just eluding Butler. Look how high that is. Can't control it, can't keep down. Swivel on top of it. So fortunate for Mitchell.
So far in this over, Wood has just about touched the 150 mark. 149 the second delivery. Rest 144, 140, 139. Pace has been up there.
The thing that, well, what hasn't been up there is the ball. Everything's been halfway down from Mark Wood. This was against South Africa. He just went short, just continued to bowl short, use the big sides of the ground. And looked to ruffle feathers with that genuine pace. Obviously, 1 full toss and everything else was short. 1 or 2 maybe on that good length.
A lot of teams employed that in Sharjah into the surface. It was expensive in the end. Wood's done well in this over. He's not gone for much. He was expensive in his previous game. His first over this time, just 5.
পাপরিকা আর মেক্সিকান মশলার মাইন্ড ব্লাস্টিং ফ্লেভারের জিটোস পাউডার হবে জোস যদি থাকে জিটোস।
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
Well, New Zealand know what they're chasing. They did have a real stuttering start. Struggled in terms of putting runs on the board, lost a couple of wickets, and hence why they dropped away from what England were doing at the same stage. Now they've caught up again. Can they have a good finish? How much do they also want to lead towards the back end as well? It's first over, expensive. Conway played him well.
New Zealand have got a little bit of power, and Phillips, Neesham, Santner can certainly play. Question will be, what can they do in the last 5? If you're looking from a New Zealand point of view now, 60 runs in the last 5. They can go at 12 with wickets in hand, so they need to be 106, 107 with 5 to go. That in turn means 8 and a bit and over for the next 8. So 8.5 and over for the next 8 through to the 15th. Target 60 off the last 5 with wickets in hand. That'll be something that New Zealand will be thinking about now.
Right now, they're struggling to even go to run a ball, so we've got to get find a way to get a move on, obviously, in these next few overs. Who takes the risk?
Against the spin, I think Mitchell's got to take a risk. For me, it's Devon Conway's job now to try and bat through the innings. He's that sort of player. He's not as powerful as Mitchell, but does time the ball well. So to me, his job is probably to anchor the innings a little bit more, bat through at a strike rate of that 120, 115. Mitchell's got to take a few more risks now, I think.
You speak about what New Zealand might want in those last 5 overs, what they think they can chase. What would England be happy with having in the bank?
Well, for them, it's all about wickets. They pick up 2-3 more wickets. If New Zealand are all of a sudden 4 and 5 down leading into that last 5, then it becomes so much tougher. At the moment, even the bad ball is not getting put away. That's a rank short ball, and it's not getting put away. Well, that's between Nathan Lehmann and the skipper, Owen Morgan. They've got this little code worked out.
All right now, it's a good recovery from Rashid's point of view, just 4 of that over. 45 for 2.
এইটা নেন তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবুর নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ
Well, New Zealand might need some firepower tonight if they are to get to this total. They're falling behind the run rate. So will it come from the bat of Glenn Phillips? He's hit the most sixes in T20s this year. Will it come from the bat of Phillips? He had a tough time in the field. Threw his body around, got a few bruises, I would imagine. Saved a few runs for New Zealand. Did drop a catch towards the end. He might be wanting to make up for that. And he certainly can do it with the bat.
Back-to-back good overs from an England point of view with the ball. Speed of that. Been some quick ones over the course of the tournament.
Yeah, a couple of teams have used their paces to good effect at this stage of an innings. Heinrich Nokia did a good job for South Africa, hold a good pace, hold consistently at good pace as well. Average speed. It's very similar to what an Heinrich Nokia would do in terms of average speed. It was expensive in Sharjah, but he might be enjoying the slightly bigger boundaries and certainly the situation here as well. Keeper was interested. Still having a chat as well. Morgan's going to have a chat now with Butler. Yeah, I think he's all right.
One for the over. Mitchell was interested for a moment. Well, it's above the head. So how's that not a wide? Oh, yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah, players joke about peeling just to make sure it doesn't get called wide. Not to say that that happened that time, but who knows?
Well, at the moment, just struggling. Daryl Mitchell can't hit it off the block. Timing is not there. England are bowling brilliantly. They're a little bit behind, but that won't bother them at this point in time. They've been exceptional in the last 3 overs in particular.
Mohan Ali, when he started his innings, also just struggled to time it and adapt to the pitch. Once he had got his first boundary away, then he started to flow. He had a very good undefeated 51 of 37 balls. Oh. It's good fielding again. Putting pressure on the batters all the time. And the pace is really up there from Wood's point of view. He's bowling with gas.
Yeah, another one at 150. He is every effort, Mark Wood, Love watching him bowl. That is seamed away from Conway. Difficult to play at 150 k's per hour. England on top here at the moment. They have looked a fantastic outfit throughout the tournament. Wondered about the loss of Tymal Mills and Jason Roy. Been superb again tonight.
See, they're trying to change the situation, but the timing is not there. There'll be another run here for New Zealand, which brings up then the 50. 50 for 2.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
From a comparison point of view, after 9 overs, New Zealand already find themselves 10 runs behind. Talk about scoreboard pressure. Well, in the semi-final, the target is probably now looking quite far away from New Zealand right now. They've got to find a way to change the situation. England, they should be very happy, the fans, that's for sure. So right now, they've got control. Here's an interesting move from Morgan. He's done all right through the tournament with the ball.
Yeah, and you saw what David Milan did to Glenn Phillips as soon as he came on. Not so much a part-time bowler, but the lesser of the 5 or 6. They have to go at Liam Livingstone here. It's not easy, I know. Bowls off spin to the lefties, leg spin to the right-handers. Which makes them tough to play, but they have to find a way to go at him.
It's a very similar stage as well. Phillips came in and bowled the 11th over just after the drinks break. Now Livingstone bowling just before the drinks break. Didn't really work from New Zealand's point of view. Having Phillips come in, will this work for England? Might just buy a few overs towards the back end as well for other bowlers. They've got resources in the bank.
Everything's about matchups nowadays, and sometimes I wonder whether they go overboard and too far. If your best bowler is still your best bowler, why does he not bowl? I've never known the history of a game that a left-arm spinner can't bowl to a left-handed batsman. It is not as easy, I understand that. But for New Zealand just to completely leave out their best spinner and bowl him only 1 over was quite interesting.
Well. Some people might be hoping for that. Ones who enjoy those heart-in-the-mouth situations. I think New Zealand wouldn't mind, because it would mean at least they've got to this total. Right now, it's looking very, very far away. He has to go for it. He has to try something. Still, the boundaries eluding New Zealand.
Options right, execution just not quite in that extra cover area from Devon Conway, but I love the option. I love the intent. Just held in the surface a touch, which meant it went slightly squarer than he wanted.
Quiet rate. This will help the runs a little bit from New Zealand's point of view. That was desperate.
And because of that last shot, the man at long off has moved a little bit more to his right. So it's quite wide there for that one. Normally, a long off might have had an opportunity for this to cut it off, but he was quite wide because Devon Conway's ability to play the ball inside out over that extra cover area, much like David Milan.
Oh, it's just missed out there. Nearly able to take advantage of the Livingstone over. It goes for 8. 58 for 2. Halfway through in terms of overs, it's now time for a drinks break.
ভাবছেন এসি চালালেই বাড়বে বিদ্যুৎ বিল? আরে যদি থাকে গ্রি, নো চিন্তা ডু চিল। গ্রিএসির ইনভার্টার টেকনোলজি বাঁচায় বিদ্যুৎ খরচ আর পরিবেশ বান্ধব গ্যাস বাঁচায় পরিবেশ। গ্রিএসি একটু বেশি ঠান্ডা।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ট মানি তো ফ্রি।
এইটা নেন। তোমাদেরকে লেবুর গুরুত্বটাই বুঝাতে পারলাম না।
ত্বকের জন্য লেবু যে কতটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তা বুঝেই আমরা মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিকে তৈরি করেছি লেবুর নির্যাস আর ভিটামিন সির গুণ দিয়ে। তাই ত্বকের সম্পূর্ণ সুরক্ষায় ভরসা রাখুন শুধু মেরিল পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলিতেই।
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
New Zealand worm is starting to go underground. From a Kiwi perspective, you don't want that. It's to climb above the red worm. England in control. Players would have loved a nice little drinks break. Halt proceedings, chat with the coaching staff. The New Zealand with this partnership. 45, run a ball. Wood. Oh, and he's just got pumped. Gone straight pull, Michael Anthony, known as the strapple.
Well, the drink has come at a good time for Daryl Mitchell, struggling to find the boundary, struggling to find the middle of the bat in the opening 10 overs. First ball after drinks break, pummeling Wood down the ground. Bowled pretty well so far, Mark Wood. He had a struggle on his comeback game against South Africa, and it was quite expensive towards the end of the innings, but impressive so far.
Yeah, South Africa much more desperate, weren't they? Reece, probably felt he's missed out here, Daryl Mitchell, at length to just get underneath and get up and over, because suddenly that asking rate, well, it's 10.68, 105 from 59. So look at the differences. Not a lot in it, Michael. 72 for 2 in them, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's quite as good a pitch as people may imagine. I had a quick chat with Liam Livingstone down at half-time. I had to go down and do the flash interview. I said to him, what's the surface like? And he gave me a funny look and shook his head and said it's a bit paced and sluggish. Quite hard to get the ball away square if the bowlers bowl it short of a length, back of a length.
That's why they are. They're into the surface here. Yeah, now you and I chatting previously, I had this with Bish. You were there in 2019. I know it's a final at Lord's. Hello, we've got a no ball. It's called from upstairs and checked. So now this is a freebie. This bodes well, provided Conway can get hold of it.
Well, Mark Wood taking a long look, because England pride themselves on doing the basics well. It is a no ball. It's the first one that they have bowled in this tournament. They don't like to give away extras.
Yeah, eagle eye on it. I'm afraid it is, Mr. Wood. Yeah, just back to that, because
I know it's a day game and it's 50 over World Cup and different. Again, we underline that importance. It runs on the board in a major knockout situation of a World Cup tournament. Can't help feeling it's easy in hindsight, I know. Partnership not bad, but needs to, of course, keep climbing, keep escalating, and keep together these two. Big discussions here from Owen Morgan with Mark Wood. In terms of the no ball, the right man's on strike for New Zealand. And the same as that other strike.
Thinking back to that World Cup of 2019, Kane Williamson a difficult choice at the toss then, if you remember. It was a kind of sticky morning in London. There'd been a bit of juice falling, a bit of drizzle in the air. And it was a bit of a gamble to bat first, but a very brave captain here in UAE with the statistics and the threat of dew and everything that points to the advantage of batting second. It would be a very brave captain to bat first.
Very brave man, Michael. More of Wood. Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, and goodbye. Talk about a flashing uppercut. It's gone all the way for 6. Much needed here for those in black.
Sure is. Good over this for New Zealand. The 4 to begin it from Mitchell. And this 6 from Devon Conway carved away over gully or backward point using all that pace that Mark Wood gives you. That's over 140 kilometres an hour.
Very pumped Kane Williamson in the dugout. It's a good comeback from Mark Wood. Closes down that angle and that extra pace. So good there. So with the no ball, 15 off, 1 to go. Michael, we do love a carving.
Himself room, didn't he? Beautiful bit of batting.
Does Daryl Mitchell get one in his sights? Slightly short of a length. So good horizontally, most of the time. Well bowled, angle back was a good one from Wood. It ends the 11th, 15 from it at 73 for 2 now.
কেউ ভাবুক আর না ভাবুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতে। ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল স্যানিটাইজিং হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
Now, even with that big over of 15, mentioned that it was, well, the required rate was about 10.68. It's only dropped to 10.44. 94 from 54. It shows you the challenge at T20 and trying to keep up with the rate. More of Livingston.
Interesting choice, Livingston. I think the choice has been made because of the right-hand, left-hand combination out there for New Zealand. It means that Livingston try and take the ball away generally, although that was a leg spinner to Conway.
We'll get back, and luckily, Conway and the throw a little wide from Rashid. Yeah, so you just noticed that too, Michael. The leg spinners, change it up, and he's confident enough to bowl his offies and mix it up nicely. Impressive. The bottom hands. Hello, Darren Sammy.
This is the business end of the inning right now for both captains, especially Morgan. Look at the bowlers left. Wood has 3, Works 3. Jordan needs to make up, the captain needs to make up 2 overs. Morgan needs to make up 2 overs. The fact that you saw Wood went for a few against South Africa, he don't want to give him two in the back end. So that's why you see Liam Livingston is bowling. Maybe he could go to Moeen Ali to make up that fifth and sixth bowler. These 2 extra overs after Livingston overs becomes very important in that defense of 1-6-6.
Has he found this one? Has he threaded it? Yes, he has. Hasn't found the fielder. He's found the fence here. Devon Conway. Mum enjoyed this one. Yeah, just a little wide. It's a long, hard volley, and he goes through extra cover rather nicely. He can't get all of it, but he's going to keep the strike here as Conway. 12 down, 80 for 2 now.
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার, বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে, ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
Breakdowns in 4 over stages. Think about England always at the death there, tall timber. And then I look at the comparisons. There's not a lot in it in terms of England being 85 for 2. He was 5 down on that. Anything can happen, whether it's wickets falling or someone cutting loose.
Well, the good news for Morgan and England is there seems to be very little dew out there as we get into the final 8 overs of the innings. More wrist spin to come. Livingston generally bowling his wrist spinners. And Adil Rashid now.
Oh, beautiful pace. Very cheeky single, but love the rhythm there and just the slowness through the air. Look at that, only 82 Ks. Just explaining that now, Devon Conway to Daryl Mitchell. That was the question. Out there, the pitch, this has been played on the square a lot of late. It seemed and looked a lot dry, a lot less live grass for it to slide on. Hence was going to be possibly a bit more variable and a little bit slower. He's got away with this big time as Rashid.
Wow. Daryl Mitchell there. Eyes lit up as Rashid offered him a half tracker. It was so short. He was looking to hit to the big side, but almost as if he was trying to hit it too hard and high.
A tickle. For Moeen Ali. I think he tried to smash that into the car park, didn't he? Daryl Mitchell, it is. Previous delivery. Over 11s now. The asking. One of his little favourite go-tos, Devon Conway. Yes. Listening to Simon Dill's superb summation in terms of the targets and where they want to be, given chunks of the innings. We showed that breakdown at 4 overs, and so you're just sort of working out, can you go and tick along? Now then. Oh, he saved it. What a brilliant save. I thought it was going to be out, and then I thought it was going to be 6. Jordan with hang time. Looks all right. Well, eat your heart out, Errol Mitchell, because he did this at this very ground against Afghanistan. And I think he's as right as rain there. Brilliant. Do you think he's back? Do you think he's foot for the ball?
I reckon the ball's just hit the Toblerone there, hasn't it? It was a brilliant bit of fielding from Jordan. Athleticism hanging in the air, exactly like that Daryl Mitchell moment that you mentioned against Afghanistan. But Mitchell dragged the ball back in and Jordan couldn't quite. The ball just hit the boundary edge.
Wow, what a great effort from Jordan. Yeah, the ball just clipping. Boundary Toblerone, as we like to call it. So, a dozen off the 13th, it's 92 for 2.
Just shows you the standards that he sets himself.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
Just on that replay, just seeing it just touch. As the ball left the hand and came down. Superb effort. Chris Jordan. Means Mitchell goes into the 30s. He's 35 now from 30. Conway 44. And we're going to have more of Livingston in the third. Rightio. Real time. Up and look at that. Brilliance of the modern game today. And they practice this so often. Great effort. About a game of inches, game of millimetres, and that ball just landing on the boundary cushion there. Might be the making of, or the winning or losing of the game. Asking rate just drops a little bit. That previous over. It's partnership going rather swimmingly at 82 from 66. How much deeper can these two take it for New Zealand? Or can Livingston have a say here?
Catch it.
Oh, just about, Liam Livingston. Just about. Oh, good effort. So nearly a C and B. There it is. That's the moment that England will be cherishing. Crowd gone crazy here at side. So did Steve Bruce.
Faith in Livingston rewarded. He's just pushed one out of the front of the hand. We say both leg spinners and off spinners. That's a slider. Pushed out of the front of the hand. Good bit of bowling. And the ball skidding on past the advancing Conway. Simple stumping for Joss Butler. Devon Conway, 46 from 38. New Zealand 95 for 3.
কেউ ভাবুক আর না ভাবুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতে। ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল স্যানিটাইজিং হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে। আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার। বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
Third one down for the Black Caps. And number 5 is Glenn Phillips. So right-hander replacing a left-hander. Of course, cricket lovers will remember him and know him as a keeper. Batted in T20. Relinquished the gloves. Holding over off spin and very fast hands, this fellow. What a great time for Livingston to get rid of the set Conway. Lovely little slider through.
Oh!
Missed him outside edge. See the signal. Signal from Kumar. Yeah, buys. Missed everything. Thank you, Mr. Damasina.
Yeah, the zingers came along, but it was Butler just knocking the bails off, having missed the ball.
Single to finish. So very good over for Livingston and England. A wicket in just 5. It's 97 for 3.
Oh, green tea, right? তো বলিস কি না তো সুন্দর কেন থ্যাঙ্কস বাট নর্মাল টি এখন নিশ্চয় পার্লারে না ডিরেক্ট পার্টিতে
সবাই তো জিলাস হবি রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন ডাবল ময়শ্চারে ডাবল কেয়ারে বিউটিফুল স্কিন রিভাইভ ময়শ্চারাইজিং লোশন
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি
Well, they'll need some big hitting towards the end of this game, and nobody in all T20s this year has hit more sixes than Glenn Phillips. The boundaries here at Abu Dhabi rather bigger than some that he might have played on in New Zealand.
Yes. Indeed. Yeah, she's 80 back towards us, back towards the players' dugouts. It's 80 metres. Mark Wood. Squeeze one. Just.
This is what England has been doing. This is what they did in World Cup 2016 in the death overs. Look at all these blue balls. All full. I think 4 of those were sixes from Carlos Brathwaite. Look at this here. They decided get fast bowlers. Timar Mills, Mark Wood, who's operating now. 59% shot. South Africa over in Sharjah. The better of England. Bigger boundaries here today. This is Wood today. As I said, bigger boundaries here, faster pitch. Everything shot. Coming on much quicker. Batters have found it difficult to score against him. This is what the New Zealand batters should expect. Jimmy Neesham and co. You want to score runs on these big square boundaries? Prepare to get your hook shot out. This is his last over. Look at the speeds. That's what England have gone to. Pace in the back end, banging it short. Chris Jordan, you see here, might go a touch fuller. But Wood and Mills, they like to ask questions of the batters by pulling the ball.
This is a bit full of this one. Sliced away. And it comes up here for New Zealand. Yeah, thank you, Darren Sammy. Yeah, quite a different surface. Such a different grounds, a different environment at Sharjah versus here at Zayed in Abu Dhabi. Heck of a lot slower, 22 yards in Sharjah versus here at Zayed. Zayed is a little slower down here in Abu Dhabi over the last couple of weeks or so, given we had the IPL here, now into this Men's T20 World Cup. as you'd expect. Quicker. Here it is again. I can't set a field for that. Much needed boundary for the New Zealanders.
Well, on cue, really, that's exactly what Darren Sammy was talking about. Mark Wood, England's quickest bowlers, exploring the middle of the pitch. Daryl Mitchell moving to 44 now. That's his third four. He's 6 as well to go with it. And it's a shot that you have to play against Mark Wood if you're going to score runs.
Sweating profusely here. Just trying to get his equipment sorted. Keep his grips moved. The handle. Yeah, it's Dad. Comes to the right barber. Here, old Johnny N. Johnny Bairstow's sister, unenlightened. So family in the house. Couple to go. And then fine leg still back. And certainly deep backward square and mid wicket and long on. So massively set this onside for Wood. Hence this. And look, I only get a single. I think England will take this in terms of 9 off. Not at all bad. Now he's got the new man on strike, and Phillips. Just behind where England were, but they've lost that extra wicket. He went full and he's hit the deck too, Mark Wood. So's Jordan. So 10 off the 15th, 107 for 3 now.
দেশের একমাত্র 100% পিওর ভ্যাসলিন পেট্রোলিয়াম জেলি ত্বকের যত্নে মায়ের স্পর্শের মতোই বিশুদ্ধ।
আমাদের বেকম্যানদেরও আছে কিছু সুপার পাওয়ার। বেস্ট ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস, বেস্ট অটোমেটেড মেশিন, উদ্দেশ্য একটাই, ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। ইটস আ বেকম্যানস ক্রিয়েশন।
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
ঠিক আছে, খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 1014 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
It's getting tense in Abu Dhabi. 107 for 3 in New Zealand. At this stage, England were 110 for 2. So just 3 runs ahead at this stage, England. England have just used the 5 bowlers. Livingston, impressive. He's going to bowl out his last over. No sign of Moeen Ali yet. Death bowling, remember there's no Timal Mills, so they're going to have to work out their death bowling. Probably Wokes and Jordan. Last over of Livingston. They're going to go after him. It's gone a long way up. It should be taken. Long off. Gone. Sam Billings. What an evening Liam Livingston's having with the ball. He has 2 for.
There, Phillips looking to go onside rather than straight or offside. Sliding across the face of the bat. It's already open anyway. Needed to get a little more inside out and look to go straight over long off. Just clothed it to Sam Billings. Livingston is having a good night with the ball. Terrific job. Dangerous Phillips gone. Not for him tonight. He's out for 2, 107 for 4.
ডেলিভারি নেয়ার পরই লাইভ বয় হ্যান্ড ওয়াশ দিয়ে হাত ধুয়ে থাকুন, সুরক্ষায় 10-এ 10।
দাঁতের শিরশির অনুভূতি থেকে আরাম পেতে ডেন্টিস্টরা সেন্সোডাইন ব্যবহারের পরামর্শ দেন।
Jimmy Neesham comes in at number 6. He won't be on strike. Mitchell will be on strike because they crossed. They were always going to try and go after this last over of Liam Livingstone. And it's proved costly. It's bowled him beautifully. At the start of the year, maybe you'd thought Liam Livingstone part-time, sixth bowler. But all tournament, it's come out well.
Oh,
What an over. Wicket. Dot, dot. Here is that wicket.
He's done a great job, Nass, as you said. Obviously working incredibly hard in days off in the nets, working on both sets of skills, off spin, leg spin, showing tonight.
He's all over him. He is all over him here. Game-changing over.
Just poor options, though, Nass, as far as I can see. Players are all looking to go straight, slightly cross, but you've got to go over extra cover.
yours, Livy, yours.
Thought about two, but Livingstone does the fielding himself.
He's had a brilliant night, though. Credit to him. Not only does he offer you big boy power with the bat, he's great options with the ball as well, and that's proved so tonight.
Now he could well go to off-spin because the left-hander, Neesham, is on strike. It's like having two bowlers in one. He said on interview how he's learned from both Moeen and Adil. He watches Moeen and Adil in the nets and learns from both of them. Left-hander on strike, probably an off-break eventually. Just keeping an eye on the non-striker there. Wide down the leg side.
Oh.
Big slog sweep from Neesham. He gets off the mark. But what an over. What a spell. What a 4 overs from Liam Livingstone. He's done 4 overs, 2 for 22.
আর মেক্সিকান মশলার মাইন্ড ব্লাস্টিং ফ্লেভারের জিটোস পাউডার হবে টোস্ট চুরি থাকে ডিটোস
শিরশির অনুভূতিকে দ্রুত হার মানান সেন্সোডাইন র্যাপিড রিলিফের সঙ্গে।
বিকাশে ক্যাশ আউট চার্জ কমছে আর সেন্ড মানি তো ফ্রি।
If you got both in, bowl Livingstone. What a trump card to have up your sleeve. He hits a big ball, we know that. He finishes innings, we know that. He's just turned the game on its head with his wicket in that over and that spell. 57 needed from 24. They're going to need some big hits from Neesham.
Jordan with a couple left, who's been superb again, and at times he's been superb closing games out. 2 overs for 10 up front tonight. He used early on, 1 from Wokes, 1 from Rashid.
Will he keep the trend, though? England's trend on this ground, as Darren Sammy showed, was bowl it short. The notes will be made. Bowl it short before the game. Will he stay with that trend, or will he go to his other skill, which is Yorkers? Jordan has that in his locker.
He's got 2 options from around the wicket. Go short, you've got 4 men on the leg side protecting the boundary, or you can go to that Yorker jammed in at leg stump. So he gives himself 2 options.
Short to start with, dragged for 6, I think. Yup, all the way. They need a cameo from Neesham. It's a good start from him.
That was neither here nor there. That was just a length ball from Jordan. He's missed. Neesham has not. Wasn't the Yorker, and it wasn't short. He didn't even get it, Jimmy Neesham. He's a big, powerful lad.
He needs to be on these boundaries. This is not a postage stamp of a ground. It's a little bit bigger. And he's got 4 out there catching. Long meeting. Morgan discusses with Jordan. So one thing Morgan said after that last final in Calcutta, he wishes he'd taken a bit more time with his bowlers, and Stokes in particular. Long chat with Jordan. Can Neesham get back for two? Butler's quick. Neesham comes. Butler fumbles.
Good running. Again, Jordan's missed his length there, and Neesham will be really disappointed with themselves. It's a leg stump half volley. They do get the two-leg buys. But have a look at that. That is a leg stump half volley, and Jimmy Neesham will be bitterly disappointed there. But that's the angle Jordan wants to create, Nasser, isn't it? Jam it in at that leg stump. If he can get the Yorker right, all the protection is there for him.
Yeah, no real room to free his arms, Jimmy Neesham, either leg side or offside. That'll be a wide.
Butler wants a word now as well. Sure, he's overly keen on this plan. Bottom of the bat, big enough and powerful. It's 11 metres off the ground.
Vice captain to captain. Butler had a thought. Passed it on to the...
A little bit of protection to go off stump. Off stump and around off stump.
Can't miss it leg side though. Tickle past fine leg, it will go for four. Hit down the ground. Mid-on is there. Can't cut it off. Four more.
This run chase was always going to need one big over. An over that was 18 or 20, just to bring that 12, 13 down to 10. Is this it? Neesham has got to keep his head here. 3 balls remaining in the over. 13 from it already.
You said it after ball one, Simon, that he's neither one nor t'other, and he's continued that here, Jordan, in this over. He's neither been short and splice or full and under the bat. It's been length, and you cannot be length to Neesham.
Has the big fella stopped dancing yet?
And missing to Mal Mills' death bowling. Can Jordan nail it? That will be a wide as well.
Just the way Joss Butler collected that ball and threw it away. That's not what you want to see. If I'm a bowler, I'm under the pump. I know I'm under the pump. This is not easy, but I do not want to see this from my vice captain. Just watch this. Almost a little bit of disdain there. He doesn't like it. It's not easy for Jordan.
Slow ball, dragged, long on. Can you get there, long on? He can. Can they take the catch? Oh, that could be brilliant. That could be outstanding. Long on's not sure. Bairstow's not sure. It's all happening. There's a run-out chance. Everything's happening out there. No one has a clue what happened, that delivery. Every umpire on the ground's going to have a look. Given out on the field.
By the director.
Bairstow's not sure.
Stop signal is out.
He's worried about his knee. He's worried about his knee hitting the advertising triangle here just before he lets the ball go. That's the issue. Have a look at this. Have a look here. Watch the knee. Bang, there. It's 6. I thought it was as I looked out the window. I didn't want to call it too early, but he was worried about that the whole way.
Now first for the big screen. It will be not out on the big screen, and then I'll go back to Murray for sitting.
Bairstow did brilliantly. Burley, do you remember that World Cup final? We've hardly mentioned it today, have we? Do you remember Trent Bolt at long on in front of the members? And he just stood on that rope as Bairstow had a Bolt moment.
Well, first and foremost, what he's done to catch the ball is incredible. Absolutely brilliant. Made incredible ground around the boundary. Couched it. That's the first thing you must do, is take the catch. Then you worry about the boundary. But it was just that split second. Had to dive, reach. And it looked good there. It looked so quick. But watch the knee as he goes down to take it. Bang. He knows it. He knows it. He was never really sure, was he?
Phenomenal effort. It really was. That was an incredible effort. And he just couldn't release it. But what an over this is. After a good one from Livingston, it needed backing up. And Jordan's going the distance. 2 to go. Back over the wicket, Chris Jordan. Oh, it's up. It's up again. Besto again. Can he get there? No. They leave it to each other. Jordan can't believe it. They left it to each other.
Oh, Jimmy Neesham, heart and mouth stuff for New Zealand fans, I'm sure. He's already got 22 off the over. Run rate's down to 11. He just keeps going, though. Right in between those two men. Needed one of them. Jordan says, one of you dive, please.
Jordan wanted himself out there, basically. I think Livingston apologises because he felt Bairstow was going for it. And it could have been taken. What's the equation now? 35 from 19. This is now England's most... What a time to have it. That's what he's been looking for throughout. Finally, he gets one in.
Super Power. Best ingredients, best automated machine. উদ্দেশ্য একটাই ঘরে ঘরে এমন অসাধারণ কিছু মুহূর্ত তৈরি করা। It's a Beckman's creation.
বিকাশে খরচ কমছে। ক্যাশ আউট 14 টাকা 90 পয়সা।
$34 needed from 3 overs. Not sure they're going to risk their 6 bowler, Moeen Ali. It looks like it's going to be 5. 5 bowlers, that is. $23 from that last over. Key moment. Bairstow did brilliantly. Sister thinking he's got it. Kiwi's saying, no, you haven't. They sneak a single. Are they going to take a run on? No, that's very good. That is so easy to take a run there. And the non-striker said, no, I got in the way of Adil. Anything sums up New Zealand cricket, it was that.
Yeah, it's a moment. What Neesham has to think about here.
From Neesham.
If you're going to bowl a leg stump line, that's fine. Oh, he's got big boy power, Jimmy Neesham. Proving it here now.
That was out the screws. He knew it. The screws. The plan is Rashid with Wrongans to the left-hander. New Zealand go ahead at this stage. 2 runs ahead. It is a wrong and bowled into the pitch. Direct hit. Misses. Misses. 1 stump to aim at the skipper.
He was gone. I'm sure he was out of his ground here, Neesham, because he'd gone back. Morgan with a throw off the knees. Direct hit. Well and truly gone.
Message from the analyst. My message would be, get a wicket, please.
That was it. One wicket, please.
Right, Mitchell's been quiet for a while because Neesham's come in. Look at that, Neesham, 27 from 10. Short, hit leg side. All the way for 6. 50 for Mitchell. 41 deliveries. New Zealand start to believe.
Drag down ball again from Adil Rashid. Pritchard back on the bowling side, and at the moment they're just starting to succumb to a little bit of the pressure that New Zealand have been able to put on to drag down, and Mitchell is so powerful. Hasn't really got many out of the middle tonight, but that one will please him.
How are you feeling, Dad? Have a little drink and chill. 21 from 14. Suddenly they go 7 ahead at the same stage.
37 in the last 11 balls. England had their noses in front with 4 overs to go, you felt. The last 11 balls have been all New Zealand.
Pretty much all Nisham, apart from that 6 we've just seen for Mitchell to get a 50. Look at that strike rate, 270. Can he go again? Sits back, squirted away, should be taken. It is. Owen Morgan takes the catch.
Oh, just leaning back on it, Jimmy Neesham. Again, it was the wrong and going wide. He knew what was coming. He was looking for that gap. That cover, extra cover. Morgan does well. Away to his right. Pouches it just, only just in that right hand. Not the biggest hands in the world, but good enough from the England skipper. Has he done the job, though, Jimmy Neesham? There's work to do. But that has got New Zealand right back in amongst it. 27 from 11, 147 for 5, 2 to go.
কেউ বুঝুক আর না বুঝুক, নিজের এবং পরিবারের সুরক্ষার দায়িত্বটা রাখুন নিজের হাতেই। ব্যবহার করুন সেপনিল ডিসইনফেক্ট্যান্ট স্প্রে।
সেপনিল, সুরক্ষার পাওয়ার আপনার হাতে।
তেমন নাম তেমন কাজ।
এনএসসি ন্যাশনাল এগ্রিকেয়ার, এসো স্বপ্ন ফলাই।
He's done. He's thinking about, why did I just come off that cut shot? Why did Morgan just drop it? It just went through one hand into the other. There's the equation. 20 off 12. New batter in Santner. Santner won't be on strike. It's the last ball of the over. 2 to go. It's got to be Wood and it's got to be Jordan. Be Wokes and Jordan.
Yeah, and a good move here from skipper Owen Morgan, I think, to leave Chris Jordan out of the business for a moment. 19th is such a crucial over, time and time again, whether it be franchise or international T20 cricket. The 19th over has so often been the key one in a game. Jordan coming off the back of an ordinary over by his high standards. And Owen Morgan deciding to go with Chris Wokes and leave Jordan to the last one. Just a little more time to think about it, perhaps.
Yeah, Wokes used to do it before the emergence of Jofra Archer. Wokes was the option in that super over. Wokes has the job now. Slower ball. Nearly just tipped onto the stumps. Can he come back for 2? Santner's hurrying.
You just say those dreaded 2 words then.
I checked at the back of the box before coming on. The rules and regulations of a super over. These sides love them, these 2 sides.
Just watch the weight. Wrong and yes, and the weight goes back, the bat slides underneath it. Morgan so close to falling out of that right hand. Hitting it too hard, but that is an extension of the arms and big boy power. Yeah, hold the pose, son. Hold the pose.
Again, not one nor t'other. Not back of a length, splice, and not full. England under pressure are just finding absolutely the perfect slot.
Yeah, we haven't seen Yorkers or real short balls now, so it's just been in that slot, as you said.
It's slot, it's length. It's where Mitchell wants it.
You came into this T20 contest tonight, and England would have been thinking, New Zealand would have been thinking, we all talked about Guptill, Williamson. Keys for New Zealand, Guptill and Williamson. Daryl Mitchell hardly got a mention.
Oh, he's nailed that. He's nailed that. He's going to get a mention, I tell you. They'll be talking.
Yeah, a few headlines as well, perhaps. Not just a mention. There'll be headlines in newspapers. websites, you name it. This again is proper power. Short, it's not short enough. Those big arms, big long levers of Daryl Mitchell, just deposited up on the bankment. 86 metres.
Some incredible scenes here in Abu Dhabi. He's trying to calm himself down. He realizes sometimes the final hurdle is the hardest. 6 needed from 9. Hit away. And short. 5 needed from 8.
There's a joker we've been working with all night. NASA just walked in the back of the commentary box and he said, Wokes rhymes with what? Terrible call. Where to now? Where to now for Chris Wokes? What can he leave Jordan? Can he leave him anything at all?
What does Santner do? Santner bat on ball, or does he try and finish it?
Good striker, really good striker, Mitch Santner, but I think now it is just about bat on ball. Ones will win it for you. If you happen to get it a little bit better, so be it. But I think this is all about bat on ball. If it's up, if it's around that full length, Mitch Santner will go, and he'll go downtown. Has been susceptible to the short ball. Remember ducking under that one? The last ball of the 50 over final of 90, he ducked underneath it.
Yeah. Pulled hard. Sweeper out there. Can they get back for 2? No. The range of emotions after that Livingston over, England fans were up. Then Neesham got out and there were nearly tears from the New Zealand fans, and now it's the other way round. It's switched completely.
The deeper you take a game, the great MS Dhoni always said, the deeper you take the game with a bat and as a batter, the more the bowler feels under pressure. And that's the key. It's exactly what New Zealand have managed to do.
4 needed. Mitchell on strike. Be fitting if he won it for New Zealand. Been quite brilliant this evening. Full toss, won't be a no ball. Will it go for 4? It does. Daryl Mitchell does it for New Zealand. The team from Lords in 2019. And the sheer delight from players and fans in Abu Dhabi. Outstanding performance. They are through to the final. Daryl Mitchell, what a star.
If you did not know that name at the start of the tournament, you know it now. New Zealand's first final in a T20 World Cup. They are over the moon. They've beaten the pre-tournament favourites.